start the broadcast. We'll do a quick intro, quick beauty shots, and a little postcard straight from there to the start, okay?
Gotcha. Last name's Morgan, isn't it? Yeah. And yours? Finley. But I don't like stuff like that. And are you getting me through there? Yeah. You got me? Nothing. No, but you can hear me, okay? I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, this is what I said. Okay, we're going now live.
Downhill Skateboarding Championship here in Cappadocia, AKSARAY in Turkey. We are moments away from getting the finals underway on a pretty foggy afternoon here, coming up to 2:45 local time here in Turkey. There's the view in the start. The riders getting lined up, ready to get these finals underway. Round of 32 coming up in the open stand-up in Finley, and Liam Morgan in the commentary position at the side of the hill. We're just about 400 meters down from the start. And let's get a little look at some of the beautiful scenery around this part of the world.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful area being up here and, you know, having a moment to check out some of the, you know, ancient sites around the town has been a real treat, along with skating this road that's new to all the riders. So between checking out a place that most of us have never been and skating a road that all of us have definitely never skated, it's quite an experience.
This world-famous tourist destination, Cappadocia, is absolutely magnificent. If you never thought of coming here, check it out. Go Turkey. It is beautiful sunny. You get the snow in the winter. We're pretty high up in the plateau. Rock formations, these inside the rock, absolutely fascinating. I know Liam, you've had a chance to check some of this area out, and you'd be very lucky.
Yeah, totally. It was awesome. We got to break away for a little bit and go check that out, some of the local sites. And it looks like first up in this first heat we have Alex and Owen. These guys are going to get a bye. So basically, based on qualifying, they're not going to have to run with two other people in their heat, so they're just going to automatically advance. But should still be fun to watch them.
Yeah, Zuganakis, the fastest qualifier. He's the #1 seed. That means he's got, on paper at least, it never works out that way, the easiest route through to the final, but our first chance of real racing action. Of course, these two are going straight through to the next round, the second round of 16. Or the quarterfinals, you could call it that way. And do you think here Liam, that there's going to be much gamesmanship on show. They're just going to ride this down,
I
aren't
think,
they?
yeah, they're just going to ride it. I think it'd be pretty foolish if they were, rubbing elbows. I think I can see they're putting down maybe 75, 80% power, but they're not going to do anything risky, go for any crazy passes or anything like that. So it'll just be a nice ride for them.
Especially at this stage of the competition. You can't win it in this round, but you could certainly lose it if it all goes a little wrong, and these guys know the deal, though. So it is, as you can see, the start area, the fog's lifted. It's been coming in and out all day. You'll be sick of hearing us talk about the weather, but, got a Brit on commentary. That's our go-to, so sorry, folks. But further down the track, it does get a little bit foggier. So we're hoping we're going to be able to get the drones flying, but we might not be able to. We've got one in the air now, and we can drop onto the drone. I love this drone footage. It gives a great perspective.
So good. Yeah, it's kind of the only way that you're going to get a feel for the speed and what it would be like to kind of be a rider behind another rider. Oh, we have a crash. It looks like Alex, he came off his board. He looks fine. He's standing up. Good thing Owen was able to avoid him. So they should both be fine. Hopefully Alex can skate through the next round.
Yeah, and that's exactly as you were saying. You're not going to be rubbing elbows, but that's how you can lose it in this round of 32 if you're not able to compete. But that's good to see. So Giannakis back on his board and moving down to the finish. But that's a little wake-up call. This course has got some bite in it. It can grab you in the blink of an eye. But he appears to be okay.
Yeah, so that's good. Luckily, the spill wasn't too gnarly. He got back up on his board, so I have full confidence that you'll see him in the next round. And now Owen really gets to chill and hang out because he's got no one next to him. So this should be a pretty mellow one for them both.
Yeah, it's just another practice run now for Owen. And this round of 32, because of the field size, we've got quite a few heats of 3, a couple more heats of 2. But once we get into the next round 2, the round of 16, or the quarterfinals, as I would call it, we're going to have the heats of 4. So this first round kind of is what it is. And actually, since just before we came on air, we were really worried about the fog. It has got a little bit better further down the course. There's back with Alex. He's, again, just got to put that mistake out of his mind and focus on the task at hand. He's got a free run now to the finish. And but that next round's going to be that little bit tougher because, I can see Harry Clark, Chase Hiller potentially could go through from that next round, heat of 3. So we do have lost the footage from the bottom. So the next heat number 2 lined up in the start. Harry Clark from Australia. We're supposed to be 3 in this heat, but looks like it's just Harry as Chase there.
Yeah, Chase,
Harry and Chase.
Chase, Chase is from the U.S., Harry from Australia. Both of these dudes have pretty extensive racing experience. Again, since they're smart guys, they're strategic. They've been doing this for a while. You probably won't see anything too intense. They would hate to wreck and hurt themselves, but they should get a good quick practice run. We got Owen obviously coming to the line first after Alex fell off there, then back to Chase and Harry.
Yeah, so my list did have the women in here as well. So we'll go off the information that I've got in front of me. Until we see otherwise. But this one, again, so straight through to final. But what a quarterfinal that one is going to be with Harry, Chase, Owen, and Alex. Yeah, that could be a final.
Oh, yeah, that very well could be a final. All 4 of those guys are incredibly fast, rapid. Super dialed. So that will be a good one to see. But yeah, it looks like these guys are going for it. You got Chase sitting in Harry's draft there for a second, kind of catching up to him, but doing a pretty early air brake, so not charging 100% into these corners, which totally makes sense.
Yeah, Chase had a pretty gnarly spill as well.
Right.
In qualifying, so he, seated that little bit further down, so he had to go hike through the forests and through the boulders to get his board back. But all is good. He's made the pass on Harry, so Chase going to take over at the front of the race, and Harry's not going to care at this stage. He
shouldn't be pushing each other for heavy passes. It was interesting to see Harry's line through that rock right, which I was talking about earlier. That one's, when I rode the course, one of the most hectic corners, and Harry slid a couple times throughout it, which I think is wise. So we'll see kind of how each rider handles that corner differently.
This is a really fun section of the course where it just starts to sweep a little bit and coming out the tighter turns, but you can see this next hit, long left-hander coming up. Harry pretty low on the board, but back in at the start. Looks like we were supposed to have Oscar, Yasmin, and Grace, but we got Grace on the right there.
No,
it's not. We'll see in a second, but
yeah.
we know that's Jasmine.
Yeah, it's definitely Jasmine on the left. I believe that's Oscar on the right.
So it is Oscar, yeah. So Grace maybe, I think she had a pretty big fall as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, she may have been why the ambulance went down a little earlier if you were with us. So, Yasmin Hanegraaff, Belgian, now based out of Innsbruck in Austria. She was telling me she's heading off to Argentina, like a lot of riders are, but she's going to be doing some traveling around South America. So just the two again, straight through into the next round. But just gives us another chance to look at the track, and we're going to hope the fog lifts and we can follow it all the way to the finish. And Oscar getting strong start, being the male in this. He's got a little bit more weight behind him, so he's building the speed up on that top section, which is actually in some sunshine now.
Yeah, and I could see it was pretty smart of him going into that first left. He was carving his board pretty hard, which tells me that he might have fresh wheels on. He's trying to kind of warm them up, get them prepared to break traction and then slide. Sometimes when you have brand new wheels on and you go straight into a slide, here he's doing it again, carving around. If you go straight for a slide on fresh wheels, it can be a pretty abrupt, choppy feeling. So he's kind of warming those wheels up, getting them prepared to slide. So that's smart of him. And yeah, like you said, he's just, some of these people have more weight than the others. But Jasmine, she's fast. I was excited to watch her in some of the practice runs, and she was looking quick.
There's a view in the finish area. Harry Clark on the left, chatting with Owen Fox, and we'll go through all this entire round, and then we'll move everyone back to the top in one go in the bus. So we see Oscar here. He's just adjusting the visors, and it's the light changing, isn't it? So you just
exactly.
Moving it,
yeah. I was just going to say that. I think actually they descend, and it looks like Oscar hit the bales. That's pretty exciting. So maybe he's kind of pushing it.
There he is.
Looks good. He's
on his feet.
Up. Yep. Interesting. Again, that could be an issue with the wheels. I was seeing him kind of carve, which maybe tells me that his wheels weren't feeling the right way. But he looks fine. He's kind of hanging out, taking it slow the rest of the run. So
you want to be getting some heat into into those wheels, exactly like in motorsport, where you see them moving around, getting that. Exactly. And that's going to give you that grip and stuff. But if it's a new wheel, does it bite too quick? Right. Is that the problem?
Right. I'm hearing a lot of the guys, normally on a kind of normal standard track, you'd want fresh wheels every race run, be consistent. But a lot of the riders are actually opting to use wheels that have one, maybe two runs on them already. They say that the pavement is too unpredictable of a slide with a fresh set of wheels. So I think that's what he was doing. He was trying to warm those wheels up, make them break loose a little easier.
So on to heat number 4, just passing our commentary position. Yanis Makarian from France and Sun Thomas Nguyen from Hong Kong in this one.
And Thomas was saying earlier he's excited to be out here. He hasn't raced since before COVID, so he's pretty stoked to be out here, and he's looking good. Yeah, the visor thing is interesting. That I'm seeing a lot of these guys mess with their visors, and that's kind of telling me that the fog and the visibility is really changing as they descend. It's a bit thicker up here than it is down there. So they're just kind of trying to get the best visibility that they can on the track.
Yeah, I'm thinking there might be some issues with those visors steaming up as well.
Could be it.
See them just shifting the visor, trying to get some fresh air in there.
Yeah, some airflow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's part of the game, particularly these conditions when it's sort of heavy air and you're breathing hard and just got to. It's so easy for those goggles to steam up. And certainly, again, in winter sports, we're changing our lenses all the time. I imagine you guys can do the same. And
yeah,
just depending on the light conditions.
Totally, changing the color visor. I heard guys swapping to different colors. And Giannis, I'm pretty sure this is Giannis here in front. I've heard some of the other riders in the paddock chatting about him, and he seems to be a top contender, and he's looking really solid on this first heat here.
Yeah, qualified in fourth quickest. It's quite a nice position to be in here. It gives him potentially quite a good route through in the top half of the draw. First 4 heats, the winners there would progress through to face each other in the semi-finals. So it's a bit like sports like tennis and stuff, where you split into the top half and the bottom half with how the brackets work themselves out.
Yeah, Giannis is looking really dialed here. This is kind of a nice, I think, kind of fast warm-up run for him.
So heat number 5, Gregory Schwab and Khalil Hamouri getting lined up again, just the 2 of them, which is going to be how it shakes down in this first round for most of the heats.
Yeah, so they'll get a bye. We had a bit of a false start there. It looks like Khalil jumped the gun a little bit, but that's okay. I think they'll just reset and start him off again. Both of these guys live in pretty ideal areas for downhill skateboarding. I believe Greg is in Switzerland, which is known for its mountains, and then Khalil lives in Asheville, North Carolina, which has some of the best hills in the United States. So here they are kicking off. Based on the kick, it tells me they're not going 100%. Oh, here we got Giannis, I think, coming across the finish line. And then back to Khalil and Greg. They've just passed us at the commentating section.
That's us on the left, and that's Little Tent. There's a view in the finish area. It's a little warmer down there. Of course, these guys are not going to be feeling the cold once they get to the bottom, that's for sure. It's one way to warm up. And we got 3 more heats to go after this one. And the guys will be making their way back to the top. This is, of course, the biggest category we've got here. It's just gone 3 o'clock local time. That time you can see on the top right of your screen is the local time here. We've got a couple of hours to get this done before darkness descends on this volcano that we're on. But there you can see the view just down to the left. It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, so beautiful. So nice to have these drones going. I'm glad the weather's holding off so you guys get this kind of perspective. I got to shout out to the production crew here. They're really working tirelessly to make sure you guys get a good viewing experience. And Gregory is looking solid. I kind of wonder here as he gets lower, he's rocking a pretty dark visor, and I'm wondering if we're going to see him kind of messing with it like we have the other guys.
It's those changes in light, particularly on this course. You go from darkness, a little bit of fog, and then into almost sunshine as well. And that just takes a second or two to adjust the eyes sometimes, and that's always a problem.
I know we got Olaf here and Cole Trotta about to start. Both of these guys super solid. Olaf on the left in the peacock suit. He's easy to remember. He's from Norway, so he's used to skating in difficult conditions. And then Cole Trotta from California. Maybe not so much on the difficult condition front, but he's an incredibly talented skateboarder that's been doing it a long time. Had a brief, kind of long 4-year hiatus from racing, but he's back. He's been skating the whole time, but not racing for about 4 years. So be cool to watch him compete today. Olaf, I believe, got to do some other races this season, so he's feeling fresh probably.
So into the first of these corners here, you can just make it out corner number 1. There it's stacked, and we got a lot of you on the live chat. It's building up again. Thanks so much for joining us. Keep us questions, comments coming in.
Yeah, and I saw a question, speaking of the live chat, asking if Grace Wong is out of the competition. I can't say for sure. We don't have that information, but we didn't see her line up for her heat, so I would assume that she is not competing. I will say we didn't hear of any significant ambulance trips, so for whatever reason she's not on the line. It should not be anything too serious.
Yeah, I did see her up in the start,
nice.
you know, afterwards. So, well, the paddock area, so riders area. So, you know, she's on her feet.
Up and walking. Yeah, that's good. And a quick shout out to Get That Skate watching from Australia. Thanks for joining us, boys. I'm sure you got a good crew watching there. And yeah, back to Cole flying down one of the straights. He's looking super dialed. You know, staying in his tuck right kind of to the last minute before each corner. Slides are looking good. Just kind of checking behind him, seeing where Olaf is. But again, since this was just a run of two, they're likely not pushing it to the absolute limit.
Yeah, you can see Olaf just taking a little time to stretch in between and getting into that sort of aerodynamic sort of tuck position almost as early as he needs to, which he's going to have to do, of course, in the later rounds. But for me, this is a course where if I'm thinking tactical, I'm thinking maybe just want to hang back and make that pass to try and make my move towards the bottom of the hill, to be honest. And wow, Cole getting it sideways, a little wobble there. So, but he's okay. He's still going strong.
On there. Quick shout out to Downhill 254, who's watching from Kenya. Not sure what time it is there, but thanks for tuning in with us. I'm glad you could join.
So heat number 7 is in the start. Backlap from the Czech Republic.
I think this is Antoine on the right.
Yeah.
And Antoine giving a little air brake there. I think that's so that he's not going shoulder to shoulder into the first left. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't want to get too close into the first corner. It would be a shame to bail on a bye heat like this with only 2 riders.
There's a lot of drafting opportunity on this course as well, isn't there? It's where these straighter sections are. You can really tuck in behind that rider in front and running that one.
Yeah, he hung on to it. He almost slid off into the bales, but
they're having a little chat as well. Yeah,
having a laugh about that. That's good. I'm glad he was able to hang on to that one.
Yeah, it's all smiles right now. You can see the smile on his face, and gonna just ride that one out. So. All good. Just looking over his shoulder, back on the drone. Such a cool perspective gives you the view of the landscape that we're competing in as well. Not too many folk competing in a place like this before.
No, this is definitely one of the more scenic tracks out there. It's such a beautiful exposed hill. Oh, he hits the bales. Let's see, it looks like he's gonna get up okay. Yeah, he's walking okay.
Slow to get up.
Good. Yeah, hopefully he's all good. Hopefully we can see him through to the next round. Now Antoine really gets to chill.
Yeah, we've seen a few go down.
Yeah, it's
in these early rounds. So when we add 2 more competitors in, this could get a little dicey in places. Last of the round of 32, round number 1, we've got Diego Poncelet and Fabio Mining in this one. Diego sort of happy to be in second place just due to how the seedings worked out with the likes of Chase crashing. So, it could work out pretty well for Diego here.
Yeah, we were talking a bit. I was talking a bit with Diego on the intermission there, and he was actually pretty happy with where he ended up in the bracket. I think we mentioned Chase had a crash in qualifying, so Chase ended up in last place, which has kind of thrown some of the people for a loop because he's a talented rider, although now he has the slowest time, so he'll get thrown in there at a kind of odd spot, but it should make for something interesting.
Yeah, and the experience of someone like Diego is this is all about just getting another feel of this track, and they know the road conditions pretty well by now. It's dry out there. As Liam, as you were saying earlier, this road it does get rid of the moisture pretty quickly. So pretty dry.
Yeah. it's really beneficial that this road, the type of surface that we're working with, it dries up quick and it takes quite a bit to get wet. So luckily these guys have got a totally dry track. Diego's looking dialed. Fabio's looking dialed. I want to give a quick shout out to the YouTube viewers from the Netherlands. We also got people from Nagano and then from the UK. So thank you guys for joining us from all around the world.
Yeah, appreciate you all tuning in. Thanks for following us along on social media as well. Share the link, share the love. Get involved, keep the comments coming in. It's keeping us warm.
Yeah.
We're feeling the love from you guys because we are bouncing around in this commentary tent, trying to keep moving. Quick shot of the finish area, and then we'll be back on track. No, we've got the final heat. We may have we lost them yet? No, we're still back on with the final heat. We still got shots of them.
Although, you know, Fabio, I'm not. Oh, there he is. Okay, good. I just didn't see him for a second. I worried that maybe he had gone off the road. Tom from YouTube, I'm not sure. I honestly couldn't tell you what the temp is on either, but it is cold. We are in a tent, but it is pretty exposed. I'm freezing. The riders have some leathers on, so they're maybe a little bit warmer, but generally it is pretty chilly here, which is another good point about how that affects wheel performance. Usually when tracks are hot, they'll kind of create cause a wheel to slide a bit easier, kind of melt away into that pavement, but cold conditions make for grippy wheels.
Yeah, we'll get you the temperature in a minute, but we're going to hand over to Gemma, who's up in the start area with some more insight.
So if you're wondering why I'm dancing around, it is freezing. It is very cold up here. I know I'm turning into more of a weather presenter at this point rather than a sports commentator. But of course, the cold conditions could well be useful for all of our riders, helping to provide more grip on the road. So I'm sure they're happy with the weather. But I think that you might be wondering, where is our race director? So you can see the start behind me. You can see how windy it is, how cold it is. Where could our race director be hiding? I think we might be able to find him in here. Oh, you are absolutely busted. Will, come out here. I know you're wearing shorts.
Well, it's not my legs that are cold,
look at the
hands.
Well, you'll be forgiven. So just talk us through. So some of the round of 32 were set off in twos. They're not going to be dropped though, are they? So just talk us through.
So within the round of 32, that's for when we have a full 32 person bracket. But on this instance, we didn't quite fill that bracket. So there are some gaps in there, but we still make even the twos ride down the hill, because that makes it fair on the wear on equipment, endurance on their bodies. So they have all had to do the same amount of riding.
Yes, that's very fair. And of course, along with the rounds with 2 people competing, there's some with 3. So we will be dropping some riders from this round.
Yes, some have been now eliminated, and now the next round are all going to be 4-person heats.
So we haven't yet had a chance to hear from the riders after they were in the time trials, but I did have a chat with them during the break, and some of them were really pleased with their times. I know we spoke to Andy Spate earlier. He shaved off, I think it was 9 seconds from his predicted time. So what do you put that down to?
Andy's really good rider. He's progressed so much in the past couple of years, and he's not, considering he's only been around for, 4 or 5 years, he's still hot on the heels of 2018 world champion Colby Parks. So it's great to see riders coming in and giving the pros a run for their money.
Absolutely, and people may be surprised that they saw Chase at the bottom. I think his time recorded in at 6 minutes. He did walk to the finish. Do we know what happened with Chase?
Chase came off. He had a crash, but he managed to get down to the bottom and get a time. Although it was very low, he still ranked higher than the did not finish. So there's someone who came off, had a crash, and they didn't finish their run. So they would go at the very bottom and Chase would still be above them.
Okay, so even then he was tactical. Walk to the finish and just get the finish.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to try and see if you can get a time, and then you can get bumped up a little bit in the rankings. It's a good strategy. You've always got to try and finish. You never know. You might crash somewhere on this course, but if you get back on your board and carry on, the other competitors can crash somewhere else, and then you've got that time to overtake. So you've really got to be fully committed when you're riding. When I was in Australia in 2008, same thing happened to me. I was racing, crashed, broke my arm, ended up getting back on the board. and I managed to finish like 5th or 6th in the end. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I beat someone.
Amazing. Now, I just mentioned earlier that it is cold up here, obviously. That's why you were sheltering in the car. So we're not a huge fan, but I imagine that the riders will be quite pleased with the cold conditions. It helps with the grip, am I right?
Yes, so urethane wheels tend to grip better when it's cooler, and we're at 2,200 meters here, so it's got its own weather climate here. So although it's nice and sunny down there, you can see it, up here it's completely different, and it's same with everything. It's very varied, and it brings out the skill of these riders and how adaptive they are to the conditions.
Yes, and that's a good point, because presumably the conditions will change the further down the hill we go. This is 3.5 kilometre track, so plenty of time for the conditions to change as the race is taking place.
Yeah, absolutely. Things can come up and which you don't expect, but then it's how quickly can you adapt? How quickly are you prepared for it, and what's your training like? Have you trained in patchy conditions, or are you like some people who have got nice weather all year round and only ride in the sun, and now when it starts raining they can't ride?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was chatting to some of the riders earlier, and they were saying, you know, having the break, because we did have a bit of a break between, that can mess with your mentality, psychology. What's your input as a racer yourself?
Yeah, so sometimes it can knock you out of like that bit of a zone. So once you're in there and you've got your flow and you've got everything set up and it's going great, to then have to stop and break that apart is really frustrating. But also on the flip side, if you're having like a really bad day, it's just nice to have that break and then come back at it. I mean, like Chase Hiller, for example, in qualifying he crashed, so he's probably feeling pretty bad. So by having that break and then coming back in, it wouldn't surprise me if he's in the final or on the podium. So it's sometimes good to have that break.
And you were here setting off all of the riders. Did you have a chance to look at their setup? Were they all having similar wheels? What was the setup?
So at the moment they're all sort of staying on the normal wheels. They haven't got rain wheels on at the moment. There's a tiny little bit of spitting of rain, but I don't think it's going to warrant enough to do a wheel change. They do have quite a bit of time in between the heats, because after this next round of 16 we'll then be starting Street Luge. So there's going to be more races on the track after them.
And wind. It's very windy up here. How's that going to affect the riders?
So it's a huge advantage or disadvantage. So coming off the start here, if we look at the flags, it's blowing down the course. So the riders are getting a tailwind off the push. But once they go around that first hairpin, it's now a headwind. And you've got to be tactical with where you're placing yourself, because on that long straight, going into a headwind, if you're out in front, someone's going to draft you. They're going to get in that pocket of air that you're punching through in front, and they're going to overtake you. But also, depending on where you're on the course, you might not be going parallel with the wind, so the air pocket could actually be more at like the 5 o'clock or at the 7 o'clock of the person. So being directly behind them might not be the best position, but off to the side slightly.
And I'm just going to quickly talk about Luge, because obviously their position on the board, they don't get as much of a heads up, if you like, of the conditions awaiting them as they approach the corners. You know, it's all a bit last minute. So how will that play?
So I think it's turn 5 going into there. You can't actually see it on a Luge because you're that low down and the road drops off that much. So you've really got to learn the course and trust yourself. And you've got to be able to do this course like with your eyes closed almost, so that you know where your braking points are. So you can come over that ridge, slam the brakes on, get just the right amount of speed off before you turn in.
We had a few people asking on the live stream, how many do we have for the Luge?
Off the top of my head, I think it's 7 or 6. We had a few drop out because there was a couple of little injuries, but they've decided to drop out.
Okay, I'm going to cut you there, Will. I think we're going to get back to the action shortly, or at least move out of the way. We're just moving out of the way. Okay, they're looking after us here.
So
okay, sorry.
Yeah, so with Street Luge, we had quite a few people drop out before the event because it's quite a long way, and trying to travel with a massive heavy Street Luge can be expensive. So that was a few of the unfortunate reasons. But I mean, throughout the year, we've had, I think it's around about 30, 40 at least Street Luges across the series, which is brilliant, which is growing. At the moment in the UK, the scene's growing really, really well. We've had 20 in our national series, ran by Street Luge GB, which has been very, very popular. And there's another small little event happening next weekend just outside of London at Hog Hill.
Brilliant. So that is definitely something that you are pushing, promoting, wanting to get more people involved and get the word out.
Absolutely. I mean, this is like the top end of racing here. This is the professional league, but within all the countries, we want to be also pushing like an amateur league, get a national series, and then you can feed into this race. So for everyone at home who wants to get in and start like racing here, there's going to be a progression path eventually, hopefully. But for the first couple of years at the moment, we're just going to be keeping it open to everyone. We're going to start getting more numbers next year, especially especially if the WDSC continues with this caliber of event. It's been really, really well run with the live stream, and all the media that's been going out is fantastic. We've learned quite a lot with this track and what's needed for next year. So there's going to be an increase in bales. We're going to get the road resurfaced, and we might move to start and finish. We could go even further up and even further down. We can have, I think it's like a total of 18 corners, which would be insane. But it's working really, really well, and I really see a good future, not just for this track, but for the WDSC in general.
Yeah, and that's so important, as you say, to remind people that you're learning all the time, as organisers, riders also, how the track can work for the future, always looking ahead. And I'm glad you also mentioned you're thinking about a pathway, because I know we'll have people watching on the live stream that want to get involved. They don't know how they can fit into the picture. We have some fans that have actually travelled here. I think somebody hitchhiked 20 hours or something to get here. So people want to get involved in the sport. It's important that there's an entry point for them. So as you say, that is something you're very much thinking about, and that's great to hear. So that's any messages you want to say to anyone watching that wants to get involved?
It's definitely keep an eye on the WGSF Facebook page and website. We'll be updating it in the next couple of weeks, looking for events to sanction next year for part of the amateur series, and then going forward, those amateur races are going to be your gateway into the professional league, because it wouldn't be unusual for us to turn up to a WDSC event and have 200, 300, 400, 500 people wanting to race. That's what happened back in the X Games days in the late 90s and early 2000s, and I really want to make it so there is a progression path, and we're not just cherry picking people that are popular or liked. We actually want to have a bit of a who deserves to be here, who's the best riders, who's the best up and comers. But I still want to keep some slots open for wild cards. So if there is someone who, this is their first season racing in the amateur league, but you know what, they're absolutely slaying it, stick them in, give them a chance in the pro league. Or if you have someone who who maybe raced quite a few years ago, but maybe they've taken a couple of years off or something like that, and they just want to come along and do one race. My main one that comes to mind is someone like Andy Lally in Street Luge, or Lee Dancy, so for stand-up. And it'd be great to have those sorts of characters to come along and do the race. So it's not just going to be, the regulars. Oh, bus coming.
We're going to get out of the way here because we don't want to get an incident. Also, our cameraman, we want to look after him too. So give you a moment to just clear. There we go. Okay.
So it's not just going to be the usual season regulars that we'll have, but we'll also have a couple of newcomers and one-offs and wildcards at events, because that'll be great to see.
Will, thank you so much. I know we're far from the start, so you're going to want to get there to get set up for the next round.
I've got to start running.
Thank you so much. While he heads there, we're going to try and chat to some of the athletes as they just come off. Harry, hello, come and chat.
Jump up, or should I come down?
It's a busy road. I want to look after you. Talk us through it. We didn't see much at the top there, so talk me through. Yeah, talk me through it.
It was just me and Chase in that one, and we haven't ridden so much this weekend. So we both knew we were going to advance because it was just the two of us. So we had a little deal going, like he'd follow me through the first couple, and then I'd follow him for the second couple, because we got a big heat next. We both didn't do so well in qualifying, so we find ourselves a little further down than we used to. So that means our next heat, which is the quarterfinals, is going to be tough. So we want to be ready.
Were you surprised where you were in the after the time trials?
No, because I sent that qualifying run. I only had one, so I was like, I'm going for broke. So I put everything into it and just had a bit of a messy first corner, a bit of a messy run overall. So the fact that I still finished 8th is a miracle.
Okay, and so the fact that you guys just took part now obviously was to level the playing field, make sure that you've got the same amount of wear on your boards, on your body as everybody else. But there must be some benefits in a way. I mean, it's almost like another practice for you, is it fair to say? Or?
Oh, it's absolutely just another practice. Because we're both going to advance, we don't have to take it too seriously. We can just, work on things. And me and Chase are very good friends. So, we're going to run this way all the way through.
Amazing. And you're enjoying it so far?
Oh, yeah, pretty good. I love this track. It's a good one for me, so I'm stoked.
Awesome, great. Well, good luck going forward. Enjoying watching you. Thank you for chatting. Thanks a lot. Okay, I think we're done here for now. We will be back shortly. But from me and all of the athletes, keep watching.
Thanks, Gemma. Particularly liked how Gemma made Will get out the car, walk all the way down the hill, and have to walk all the way back up again. That was pretty smart, because I'm sure Gemma would quite like to get into the car as well. So we're just obviously riders are back in the start, as you heard there. They're going to get ready, get everything in position. We'll get this second round underway. 4 heats, the quarterfinals. Top 2 will go into the semi-finals. Then things start to get really interesting.
Yeah, this is where we're going to get to, a lot of those first open stand-up heats were buys, right? We saw lots of two-man heats, both of those people automatically advancing into the next round. But this second round here is where you're going to actually get to see some stiff competition. So that'll be pretty exciting. Please stay tuned. We'll get that underway here soon. In the meantime, I just want to give some shout-outs from the YouTube live commenters. We got people watching from Brazil, Puerto Rico, Spain. So thanks, guys, for joining us from all around the world. I saw a question from Max Heaton about race winner predictions for stand-up. I have a pretty heavy personal bias towards Cole Trotta and Owen Fox. Those guys are looking fast, but Diego, Chase, Olaf, Fabio. I mean, there's so many talented guys here. I think it's going to be kind of a crapshoot, and it's going to be some exciting racing. So stay tuned.
Yeah, let us know your predictions as well on the live stream. It would be, it's fun to get your interaction and comments and things. So after this round of 16, a quarterfinal, then we'll move on to Street Luge as well. I'm so jealous of everyone in a bus at the moment. I think I'm going to get a bus to Istanbul tonight. Long story as to why that's the case. I'm trying. Hopefully, by the time I get on a plane tomorrow, I'll be able to feel my feet again. Because we are bouncing around. I know you don't really care about how we're feeling in the commentary box, but if our voices sound a little funny, that is why. It's definitely around about 6-7 degrees now. It did get a little bit warmer, but there's a little bit of moisture in the air, and it's making it chilly. Down in the town, it's like 16 degrees. It's actually not too bad down in AKSARAY. But that's about sort of 45 minutes away, and we're over 2,000 meters. This place will be covered in snow in the winter. I've actually skied in Turkey myself, out east in Erzurum, coldest I've ever been. It seems to be a running theme of when I come to Turkey, I just get really cold.
But if anyone lives in the area and can bring us a heater, some blankets, coffee, we'd appreciate it.
The dog to sit over my feet. Two lovely big dogs that can just lie down on our feet would be ideal. Keep getting involved on social media. Hashtag as well. The hashtag WDSC. Starting to there's the WDSC banners there that are put up. They dress the course nicely. A huge thanks to World Downhill Skateboarding Championship for all the work. World Gravity Sports Federation, Will and Chris doing put so much work in. These events don't come together overnight. It takes a lot of effort, as I'm sure you guys know at home just how much effort it takes to try and pull this off. And we heard it from Will there. They want to get the road resurfaced, so he said it's going to happen.
Yeah, that would be incredible. And really, I mean, as it is now, it's a good track. It has some areas that could be improved. But man, if they got this thing resurfaced, people would be flying down this hill, and it would be pretty high speed slides. It'd make for a really interesting track. So hopefully they can get that done for next year. And just again to shout out the WDSC. The amount of work that's gone into this is incredible, and we again want to see you guys kind of hype it up on social media. That's what keeps this sort of stuff going. So please, comment, hashtag, like, subscribe, whatever. That'll help us keep doing it for years to come.
Yeah, share those live stream links. The live stream is going to be available to watch on YouTube after the event, so it's not just one and done. And then of course there'll be highlights package, and that's one of the key things is distributing the highlights from this event globally. So many channels around the world are going to get the package, as they've done from the first two events in Monticiano and Kozakov. It's been sent right to networks, some of the biggest networks in sports broadcasting around the world. And that's going to help grow the sport, grow the series as well. Looking ahead to next season, we want to be trying to bring you live streaming from every single event. And, it's down to you guys for tuning in. The more of you that tune in, the easier a sell it is. So me and Liam can obviously travel around the world in glorious comfort.
A heater next time, if you guys keep commenting, we'll get some warmth. But no, I really, as much as we're cold and being crybabies, I am really enjoying being here, and hopefully we can keep this going for years to come. And
feeling the love, the energy, and ultimately the positivity from the athletes and the love that they're showing. The camaraderie between them is awesome, and you know, it's making for an amazing experience out here in Turkey. And you know, just hope you guys are enjoying it as well, because it's about to get real in this next round. We got 4 heats in the quarterfinals, 4 in each heat, and I can't take my eyes off this first heat with Alex, Chase, Harry and Owen in heat number 1, quarterfinal number 1. 2 of them are progressing to the semi-finals. 2 of them are going out in the early stages, relatively early. See Owen Fox just making his way up to the start. He's been quietly looking like he's got some confidence about him on this track, so we are obviously going to find out. I'm not making any predictions. I don't know things well enough yet. I'm learning all the time, and
you can sorry to cut you off.
No,
you can see here that the both Owen and Chase, who are in this first heat of the quarterfinals, they're warming up their wheels, which is, like I said, pretty rare. Usually guys are wanting to go into their race heats with the freshest, most brand new wheels possible, but given this pavement, it's a little unpredictable, so they're going to kind of want to warm them up, get a little bit of that fresh skin broken off the surface of the wheel. So you can see them both there doing some slides. Yeah, this first heat again, we got Alex, Chase, Harry, and Owen. So that'll be pretty exciting. It should go down here in a moment, so please stay tuned.
Yeah, Alex will get sort of first start pick of the start position as well. You know, on a short course that's maybe straight into a corner, your lane choice, your start position choice is absolutely key. But on this long track, we've got a long run into that first left-hander, and or left footer, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not convinced it's really that critical with your start position here, just due to the number of corners on this track. But sometimes it's that psychological advantage as well. Other people know that, oh yeah, they've had a quick qualifying time, they're quick on this track, and I was a little further down. So yeah, it all helps. Those see guys just they're making their way into the start. Shouldn't be too long to it before we get this one underway, and then we'll get through these 4 heats pretty quickly, I would think, and then it's on to Street Luge as well. We'll do our best to bring you the results. One of the things that we're going to keep working on and put our heads together afterwards is that sort of flow of information back to the commentary position as well, so we can update you as quick as we can. But everyone's back in the start where they need to be. Starting up, yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, that's all good. We should get going here soon. I want to just keeping up with these YouTube comments. We got some new viewers from the Philippines, so thank you for joining us. Again, the first heat of the quarterfinals to drop. People are asking to know what's going on. We have Alex, Chase Hiller, Harry Clark, and Owen Fox will be dropping in shortly here. As I mentioned, the guys are just kind of warming up their wheels, making sure they can slide really predictably into that first corner.
Yeah, so the way it works, of course, I'm sure most of you guys know, but if you stumbled onto the live stream by accident, the top 2 will move into the semi-finals, and then we move on to quarterfinal number 2. We've got Yanis, Oscar Rodriguez, Thomas Nguyen from Hong Kong, and then Yasmin Hanegraaff from Belgium. It'll be then the top 2 from that second heat will race the top 2 from quarterfinal number 1. And they'll move into semi-final 1.
I just saw a good question come in the chat asking if the women will ride exclusively. Great question. It's pretty cool. The women are competing in the open category, so for example, we have Jasmine in the second heat of the open quarterfinals, but then the women will also be running as their own separate bracket. So you'll see some women in the first open brackets here, but then also running against each other later on.
Yeah, this is the biggest category, but once we get through the rounds where we've got lots of heats, so 8 in that first one, 4 in this one, then we start bringing in the other categories as well. I think is there more than 4 women? I think due to injuries that we may just have 4 women left. I've not got that information in front of me, so that would then go to basically a straight final If there's more than 4, we may have a race off to go through. But we'll, if anyone WhatsApps me, we'll let you know. So.
And it looks like Jasmine is the only woman in
the she was the only one that started.
Bracket.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm wondering if Grace did take that slam. If she's not able to start, that would bring us down a little bit in terms of numbers. So it may just be into a straight final.
Yep.
And we would do that alongside the other finals as well later on in the day. Other police cars there, and right in the start, these. Very helpful support from the local police.
Yeah. Shout out again to all the local course workers and officials. They've all been so hospitable and professional. This is again the first time that we've done an event on this track, and you'd think it was their 10th time. They're dialed. They're on it. They're throwing flags the right way. They're staying off the course and just generally being supportive. So thanks to the locals. Turkish people have been so hospitable and kind to us. So thank you again.
We got a few spectators around as well that have made their way up the side of the hill, which is impressive. It's a long walk.
Oh, yeah.
But, getting some support from the local community as well. And it's not the most accessible of venues as well. So, it's great to have that support out here. And there's a huge screen up in the start, so all the riders and volunteers, officials that are up there in the start can keep an eye on the action further down the hill. It looks like we're not too far away. Owen's been there for quite a while, hasn't he?
Owen's there. He's stretching. He's staying warm, which is smart. Again, they got some leather on, which I kind of wish I had right now. I usually don't ever wish to be inside of a cowhide, but they should be staying warm, and we'll drop in here soon. Again, I just want to ask anyone watching the live stream to go ahead and share that link with some of your friends or on your social media. The more viewers that we get on this program, the easier it will be to do in years to come. I want to give a quick shout out also to Maga from Australia, rooting on Harry. Hopefully you get to see your boy do well. Got some other good predictions going on in the chat, so if you're in there, throw your predictions in. Keep those comments coming.
Now, Liam's keeping an eye on the YouTube, on communication with race directors and WGSF, just to try and keep on top of what's coming next. We're looking at the lineup for the quarterfinals. We're having to resort to WhatsApp and some photographs, just so you guys know at home. So we really appreciate your patience and support and things. It's good. We're all learning here. Well, I am anyway.
I got a question about. I think we've got some of Olaf's friends from Norway asking what heat he will be in. He is number 3. He's going to be launching with Gregory, Cole, and Khalil. So he'll be the third heat.
That is a tough heat as well.
Yeah,
they are all pretty tough.
Yeah.
They're all tough.
Yeah, that's going to be a thick heat. That should be interesting.
Yeah, and then heat number 4, Diego, Antoine, Vaclav, and Fabio in that heat number 4. So it's all sort of set up, and you can see the guys getting ready. Harry Clark still to get the helmet back on. It's the time of the day where the sun. You're just hearing about all our problems. This is just like an open forum for this, and I have to sort of squat down to see the screen, because it's a over 3 kilometer long track. And that means obviously we can't see much of the track from our position. We had to protect all the equipment from the rain earlier, so we've kind of taped ourselves in. Now the sun's just making it a little bit tougher to see.
Out, making it hard to see, but at least warming us up. It looks like these guys are getting pretty close to going here, so stay tuned. They're setting up on the line from right to left. We have Chase Hiller, Owen Fox, sorry, the screen cut away. But these guys are gonna release soon, so stay tuned. We got a nice aerial shot from the drone. These drone pilots are experts flying throughout some difficult conditions. So yeah, we got Chase Hiller, Owen Fox, Alex, and then Harry Clark on the left. So looks like they're getting ready to drop.
So heat number one, or quarterfinal number one, lined up in the start of the World Downhill Skateboarding Championships here in AKSARAY in Turkey. A place in the semi-finals, 2 places in the semi-finals are up for grabs, and this is our first chance to see this course with the 4-on-4 action. They've just been told to stand up a little bit.
It looks, I know I haven't raced in many years, so that's a difficult spot to be in. Looks like they're getting ready.
We can't hear the start, but we're underway, and it's I quite like the position Harry's in on the right-hand side. He gets on the board pretty early, but it looks like Alex had a really good start, got an extra kick in as well. But it is Harry leading them away as they go flying past our position. Owen Fox at the back of the pack right now on this long straight section, about 300-400 meters into corner number one, and it's Harry Clark that's going to set the line or lead us into corner number one here.
Yep, so we got it. Looks like Harry. Oh, Chase made a pass into second on the exit of corner one, and then we have Alex and Owen behind them. Harry's still looking strong in first place going into corner two. Nice drone footage. Looking really tight between, and Chase passed back.
Yeah, Chase just exiting that corner a little bit early.
More speed,
carried more speed out, and now we see Alex. He's right on the tail of Harry's board.
Again, I think it's important to keep in mind, we talked about strategy a little bit, and
big It's a race to get back on the boards here. 3 riders down. Harry Clark's down. I think the man that's still standing is Alex at the front of the race. And now it is all about moving again. Is that Chase just trying to get past Owen Fox here? Harry Clark was in a good position. I think he's a little behind these guys. I'm not sure yet. But wow, what drama there. There is Harry in 4th place. So it is a battle between these 3 to see who can stay on their feet, who can get that next spot. Of course, with Alex up in front on his own, he's just got to stay on his board now, and he's in the semi-finals. But what drama early on. So not got a shot of Alex up ahead, but he stayed on his feet, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked like it. That was a pretty big collision. I'm surprised he managed to stay on and didn't crash into the bales with everyone else. But this makes it pretty interesting. Chase has got them led by quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls second. And I just saw Alex there in first. So if Chase can stay up in front here, he'll move on. Harry and Owen will be out. But it's not over until it's over. Harry hits the bales. Owen runs into him. So I think pretty safe to say that Chase and Alex will be moving on to the next round. Yeah, it looks like Owen and Harry have kind of, decided to take it easy. That's a bummer. That's a bummer for these guys. Yeah. They gave it their all. That was an unfortunate tangle. I'm not sure if Harry's injured or bummed, but he's on his feet, so it shouldn't be too bad either way. So
we're on to heat number 2 already started as well. So Yanis Macarian, Oscar Rodriguez Esquam, Thomas Wingson Thomas from Hong Kong as well. It's supposed to have Yasmin in this one. I don't see Yasmin here, so
yeah, I'm not seeing her either. I'm not sure what happened. She was looking really strong earlier. Yeah. Hopefully we get to see her again in women's.
This is the next heat. This is heat 3 in the start, okay, because we can spot, we've got Gregory Schwab, Cole Trotter, Khalil Hamuri, and Olaf from Norway as well.
Yeah, so this is going to be a pretty good lineup. It looks like the guys are getting outfitted with GoPros. If you guys stay tuned on the WDSC, you'll get to see some of that footage later on.
So we do have a bit of time pressure as well. It's coming up to 3:45 local time. So, in an ideal world, we'd follow every heat all the way down. But we've got to get these races going. So this is the riders in heat number 2 that are on the way. Of course, from heat number 1, it is Alex and Chase that we think have gone through.
Yep.
We'll get that confirmed afterwards.
And then from right to left, it looks like we've got Olaf, Cole, Gregory, and then Khalil on the left. This is going to be a really stacked heat. These guys are all experienced riders, all living in areas with really great hills, so this is going to be a fun one to watch. I think we're just kind of letting the track clear up a little bit before we want to send these guys so that there's no kind of mixing.
Yeah, because that's the danger, isn't it? If there's a big crash up ahead, we'd have to stop these guys.
Right.
Or potentially, you know, and that can delay things, and we've got to get the bales have got to get fixed up and put in back in a safe position. Some of the barrier banners as well. It's not fun hitting a hay bale, though. You know, they protect you, but they're pretty hard.
Yeah, that's not fun to hit a hay bale, but it's better than going flying off the road into some rocks.
Better than rocks and trees are painful.
Yeah,
hay bale does the job. We have in ski racing we have fences. Yeah. People think, oh yeah, the fence does its job. Yeah, it stops you hitting a tree, but you don't want to be hitting a fence either. So the heat number 3, quarterfinal number 3 lined up in the start. We haven't had a shot of the positions in quarterfinal 2. I believe
heat number 2 is Giannis and Oscar moving on, I think.
There's the view in the finish area.
And guys, I am seeing some feedback on the live about not being able to see the entire run, which I totally understand. But just as a reminder, it gets dark pretty early here, and we really don't want to be racing in the dark. So we're trying to work our way through these heats, and as a result, we have to send them pretty quickly, and it makes it pretty much impossible to film each run all the way to the bottom. So please bear with us. Obviously, as we move further through the bracket, you'll be able to see more of the run. The production crew is doing the best they can, so please bear with us. We'll try and keep you updated as we can.
Yeah, we take the feedback, we'll listen, and looking ahead to future events, how we can make this live stream as good as possible for you guys are watching at home, or if you're sneaking in a little viewing at work on this Sunday afternoon, if you're working on a Sunday or whatever you're doing, family dinner. Yeah, got your phone under the table, just watching a bit of...
Well, I actually just saw Colby Park's parents just joined us from Canada on the live. So Nancy and Gary, hello. Thanks for joining us. Colby should be running here shortly. We just got to get through some stand-up downhill skateboarding. Yeah, but it looks like, there's a slight delay for the track to get cleared. We had some collisions with the hay bales. We want to make sure all those bales are stacked back up properly. The hay is swept off the road so that this next heat, which is Olaf, Cole, Gregory, and Khalil, don't run into any interferences on the track.
So these guys are just having to just wait, relax, have a little chat, or as relaxed as possible before your heat, because this is such a tough heat coming up. And they are in a little bit of sunshine as well. Yeah,
we're getting a little warmth here. And
coming through.
I do feel for those guys at the top, as Gemma mentioned earlier, that kind of waiting around at the start line can sort of mess with your head a little bit. You line up, you get ready to go, and then they tell you to wait. Of course, it's for a good reason. We want to make sure the track is safe and clear, but I don't envy these guys at the start line who are kind of, right on the edge of their seat waiting to drop.
Yeah, you get yourself in the zone, you get fired up, you think you're going in the next minute, and then you're told to hold. And often in the start, you don't know why you've been told to hold initially. You don't know if it's a crash, one of your mates could have gone down. And, they try and give the information to those guys in the start when they can. But I'm sure they've told them they're just working on the track, because there's nothing worse than knowing someone in the heat in front of you has crashed, and that's why there's a delay. So they'll have that information now, and they just got to stay loose.
Yep, keep moving around. I saw a comment from Rob McWhinney in Australia asking where Josh Evans is. He unfortunately had a crash yesterday, I believe. His knee became inflamed. He is in the hospital. does not sound serious. Actually, it sounds like they found out when he was in the hospital that he had COVID. So he should be, he's in a nice hospital, I've heard. He should be recovering okay.
Actually, it's not COVID.
Oh, okay, not COVID.
Just
maybe
normally,
maybe just a little injury.
Knee injury, possibly a little virus and some infection. I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate, but definitely heard it wasn't COVID. I don't want people to panic that everyone's going to fly home from this event with COVID.
Yes,
so
good point.
That's just try and clarify that
yes, thank
for
you,
everybody.
Thank you. I don't want to spread any rumors, so thanks for clearing that up.
Although never let the truth get in the way of a good rumor. That's what I always say.
So we wish Jev a quick recovery. Quick shout out to Raggy from Team Green in British Columbia. Quick shout out to the guys watching in Toronto and Spain. Got a quick shot of the finish line. These guys are kind of just relaxing, trying to stay warm. Quick shout out to Harry's dad, Paul Clark. Thanks for tuning in. Definitely a bummer about Harry. He was looking strong. Hopefully we can get a little interview with him at the top. Quick shout out to people joining us from Argentina. Thank you. South Africa. We've got quite a worldly crew of viewers.
Yeah, we are truly global today. It is so good to have people tuning in from all over the world, and there must be some solid tracks in South Africa.
Yeah, that was actually the last time I was commentating.
Right.
Was in South Africa.
Whereabouts?
A couple hours outside of Cape Town. There's an event called Hot Heels, and it was a fun one. But yeah, it's good to be back on the microphone after, I think that would have been in 2013, 14. So it's nice to be back on the mic. Thanks for having me.
It's awesome to have you along.
Yeah, thanks.
Keeping me in check. I'm learning all the time and learning from you guys, and everyone's been super cool as well. So
yeah, it's nice to see these boys in their element. You know, I have a background in racing, but not for a long time. So I know a little bit about it. I skate with a number of these people regularly, so it's cool to see them in their element, doing their thing, wearing their suits, fancy helmets, going fast.
Yeah, so still some track work going on. That's why we have that little delay. But yeah, it's been about 10 minutes now, and you can see the conversation start. When are we going? When are we going?
They're eager.
Yeah.
Cole looks eager. But this is kind of a good time to maybe suss out your competition. Oh, it looks like we're going to be rolling here in a second. The guys are getting ready to go.
So we've got Gregory Schwab, Cole Trotter, Khalil Hamuri, and Olaf Oy in quarterfinal number 3 here at the World Downhill Skateboarding Championships. Eager to go after a long wait. Top 2 into the semi-finals. Here we go. And Olaf is a tall athlete, isn't he? But he's not quite got the best of the starts.
Yep. Again, it's a bit about strategy on this hill because it's so long. Just because you're in back doesn't mean you can't draft and make a pass. And they just ripped past us. Cole and Gregory out front by a bit. Cole maybe going for a pass here into turn 1. This one's going to be tight. Okay, they were looking pretty clean on the exit. We got Gregory. Oh, he slipped a little bit, but he hung on to it. Cole's right behind him getting into his draft with Khalil behind Cole and Olaf back and forth. The first 3 guys are leading Olaf by quite a bit. Gregory and Cole seem to be kind of pulling away from the other 2.
Yeah, Khalil really took some of that speed off.
Yep.
But, he's just got to stay in touch here. Not let these guys get completely out of sight. And that's what he's doing so far on the top half of this course. Olaf, I haven't seen a shot of him for a bit. He's just that little bit further back. And Khalil getting, on a good line there. And they did pull away.
Yep.
But he's managing to just reel them in ever so slowly. There's Olaf coming through as well, still on the board. That's good to see.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because Gregory and Cole, they don't want to crash, they want to move on, but Khalil, at this point, this distance, he's kind of hoping for a crash from those two in front. That would certainly put him into the top 2, so let's see what happens. If Gregory and Cole can stay safe, they'll likely move on to the next round.
Yeah, starting to see the gaps just grow a little bit here. Khalil still in 3rd place.
But it's never over till it's over.
Yeah.
That gap can be made up. It isn't too significant. Khalil could come up to 2nd. Cole could come up to 1st. So we'll see.
Yeah, but Gregory Schwab up in the lead right now. Qualified in 3rd place, so we know he's got the speed on this course. And running right out to the bales. Cole was right on the edge there. That's the view in the start for the last of the quarterfinals. Diego Ponce, Antoine Carlotti, Vaclav Vanchara, and Fabio Minning in quarterfinal number 4.
It's quite interesting to see the different ways that they start. Some, really low with their hands on the ground, trying to get that extra reach on the first push. See how they fire off here, and they're off.
So there's different techniques, trying to get some GoPro footage out of the start as well, and everyone away cleanly.
Antoine really kicked off strong in front. He's going to probably enter that first left in front. Here they are just passing us.
Hopefully you can hear that sound as well. We've got an effects mic right in front of us.
Yeah.
So what we'll do once this one is complete, as soon as we get the info, to just confirm who has progressed into the next round as well from the previous heats, because obviously we didn't see that. We got some problems early on.
It looks like Antoine's out.
One rider left standing, and there's a little bit of carnage there.
And I think that's Diego first to his board after the crash. Antoine can't seem to find his board. Oh, Diego's stopped.
Has he got a problem with his board?
Not quite sure. Two of the guys seem to be looking for their boards. Diego, I'm not sure why he didn't continue riding. This is interesting. Now we've only got one rider on their board. Other couple looking for their boards.
Have they decided? Maybe they've decided they're just going to put their own start together or something here. Yeah. We're just going to race it for 3.
Could be.
But that, yeah.
Because I thought for a second that Diego maybe grabbed the wrong board, and that's why he stopped. But I can see that he's riding his pro model board. So there's no reason other than potentially good sportsmanship that he'd stop. Oh, it looks like you're right. They might be doing their own kind of start here.
Well, 2 of them are off.
Antoine. I have never seen anything like this.
He's lost his board. This is this is crazy. I mean,
so and they don't seem to be. This is Fabio and Diego that essentially are competing for to advance, and they don't really seem to be competing. So that's interesting. I wonder. I'm curious to know the conversation between those guys after that crash.
Yeah, I wish we could give you more on that one, but yeah, all sorts of drama here.
I think we are seeing a case of some really good sportsmanship, which isn't surprise. I mean, it's something I've never seen before, a situation like that, but knowing these guys, great sportsmanship is not surprising. So, but it, it looks like Diego's in essentially second place in the advancing position, but again, not pushing it at 100%. So, somewhat interesting that Fabio's not, pulling up to him.
Yeah, I don't like speculating, but maybe a little hurt from that one. That's all I can think of.
Be.
Or, possibly some damage to the wheel, maybe. But it looked like a nasty one. Just caught the end of it. He's standing up tall as well. I think he knows that he's not able to keep pace with Diego here. So. Yeah, that was such a big crash, and on the inside as well of that turn. So everyone absolutely.
Well, there's
Going for it.
Antoine. So he's back on his board. That's good. That's good. And obviously not injured too badly, if at all, if he's on the board.
Well, this is the last of the quarterfinals, and yeah, well, we've had a few scary moments in these quarterfinals, but that's kind of what we were expecting might happen once we put everyone on the track together, and everything was all up for grabs. Places in the semi-finals, and the numbers that we're getting on the live stream right now, the best we've seen all day for obvious reasons. That is a beautiful shot. That shows the track in all its glory, snaking its way down the hill. You can see back up towards the top of the hill there.
I see some questions in the chat. I don't want to speak too soon, but Fabio did get back on his board, so he's I would assume, doing pretty good. I don't think he's too injured if he's going to finish out the run, so that's good. Seeing a lot of F's in the chat for Antoine, so we hope he's doing okay. I'm not sure what happened, but if we get some news, we will update you guys. A little hard to tell. That was a pretty unique situation after that crash. That was the last heat, so we'll get the riders back up to the top of the hill. Guys that advance will reset on the start line and then drop in for the semi-finals coming up.
Yeah, we got street lugers making their way to the start area. There's Colby Parks carrying his luge up there, and he'll be next up on the track now that we've got the semi-finals just about confirmed.
So there's Antoine there at the bottom of the hill. He's looking okay. He's walking, so that's good. So the riders are just going to get on the bus. Man, it's nice having these buses. I'm used to riding in the back of a
pickup or something.
Or a pickup when going back up the hill. These buses are warm and protected with nice seats.
Yeah, that is one of the things that the World Downhill Skateboard Championship wants to try and provide, that environment for the athletes, and working with WGSF to do that, because we don't have a sport without you guys, and it's about putting you guys in some proper accommodation, putting the athletes in proper accommodation, making sure they're comfortable, in the start area. There's food, there's some warm, particularly here, some warm drinks available and things. It is about creating that environment that allows the athletes to thrive. And
yeah, we're so thankful for all the accommodations and the kind of amenities that we've had here as riders and as participants. We're getting nice buses to the top. We're staying in nice hotels with good showers. We're getting rides to the hill. Oh, sorry. Yeah, some of us don't have warm showers.
Yeah, some of us don't have hot water or or even a shower attached to the unit in the room. So avoid me for the next day. That's all I'll say. I've got the lineups now for the semi-finals in the open stand-up. So semi-final 1 will be Alexandros Zouganakis, Yanis Makarian, Oscar Rodriguez Esquin, and Chase Hiller in semi-final number 1. Semi-final number 2, Gregory Schwab, Vaclav Vankara. Apologies if I get the pronunciation wrong. I'm going to work on that. Diego Poncelet and Cole Trotta in semi-final number 2. So that's your lineups for the open stand-up. I've got a luge graphic yet, not quite, so we can deal with that.
Seeing lots of comments in the chat for a camera on the bus. Maybe they'll see your comments and get one in there. But if not, stay tuned. The riders are heading up the hill, and there will be some interviews from the riders, the stand-up riders that just went down. So you'll get to hear from some of them here in a second. Until then, you'll have to listen to us yammer on. I want to give a quick shout out to Max Caps, a good friend from California that joined the chat, and a big racer who's going to compete in South America for the World Roller Games. So good luck, Max. But yeah, we're going to have a pretty exciting semi-final round, and no doubt a spicy final heat.
I'm liking that idea of a camera on the bus. And
Yeah.
we may have to edit
Yeah.
it. You know, maybe maybe live
Some-
isn't the best for
Yeah,
that, but
right.
maybe.
Right.
But yeah, it would be cool. But I'm now thinking ahead. Oh, could we get?
Yeah, if I know skateboarders, there'd have to be some good
Yeah, we'd have-
blurring
yeah.
and beeping
Just give us a
going on.
button here.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
yeah.
Do it. But yeah, we could do live interviews from the
Yeah,
bus
yeah,
on the way
that would
back
be
up
good.
if the tech would
Immediate
would hold up.
reactions.
So I can just hear our boss, the production boss, going, "No, stop it!"
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got some luge lineups once my data package holds up. So I'll run through the luge. But we've street luge lineup. Heat number 1, 3 in that one. Abdul Madzan, Colby Parks, and L-Shape Mini, and then heat number 2, David Frege, Andrew Spate, Konstantin Wiegel, and Julie Ertz. So that's your street luge lineups. And whilst they're getting ready, Gemma's in the start. She is hopefully going to be able to give us an interview. So I'm going to throw it over to Gemma back in the start. So we're hoping to hand over to Gemma in the start, but obviously that message hasn't filtered through, so you just have to listen to me. You can see it's still pretty cold. Gemma's bouncing around up there. We've got the graphic coming in for the women's stand-up as well, and just seeing if we are ready to hand over to Gemma. We're just getting a camera in position.
Guys, you're going all quiet. We can throw the Gemma. I think we can throw the Gemma if you want in a second.
So getting a few more graphics in place, and we're going to hand over hopefully now to Gemma in the start area once Gemma's ready for a couple of quick interviews.
Hello everybody, I'm back up here in the start. The sun is shining, which is great news. So let's take a little bit of a walk. I think we're still order of play, so I'll get confirmation from Will in a second as to whether we're going to start with the luge semi-finals or we're going to have the the women's downhill skateboarding. It's all up in the air, but for now, let's come and chat to some of the athletes. Let's chat to some of our lugers because we haven't heard from them for a little while. Who do we have? We'll chat to some of the women first, actually. So who do we have? We have Jasmine. Jasmine, can I have a quick chat with you? Oh, well, you're doing the downhill skateboarding, actually. We're going to chat with Jasmine first because you were quite pleased with your time trial, weren't you?
Yes, it was super nice. It went really well. It was like the best run I had in the whole weekend already. So, super stoked.
What do you put that down to?
What I put what down to?
Why do you think it worked so well for you today?
I'm trying to enjoy it as much as possible, and yeah, that's basically it.
Good, I'm glad, and you are enjoying it, and the sun is shining, so that's good news.
Perfect.
Fantastic. I'm going to move over to some of the luge athletes because I feel like we've neglected them a little bit. So we've got El Khamin over here. El Khamin will be competing in... She's just sorting out her GoPro. How are you feeling? Because you've had a bit of a break, haven't you? The others have had
one run today so far.
just one run. Right, talk us through how you're feeling.
I'm quite chill actually. Like I now do the opens. I basically know I don't have much chance, so I'm gonna just try to enjoy it, and then get ready for the women.
What do you think is the secret with this track?
I have no clue. I don't know. Just go for it. But it's a very tricky track.
Yeah.
So I know I don't know the secret.
Don't know. You'll find out. You will find out. Talking of confidence, I think we're going to try and find Colby because I hear that Colby is quite an aggressive luge racer. Hello, thank you for joining me. No problem. So talk us through your. Oh, we're going to get run over. Come, okay, seconds. As you can see, it is all go here on the start line. So your style of racing, I've heard it from others, but I'd love to hear it firsthand.
Well, I don't have very good push, so I tend to come from behind and utilize the draft and good lines and probably make a pass at the near the end. They've actually come up with a term for it, a couple of my friends. They call it pulling a Colby, where I just pull ahead right at the finish line and take the win. So that's usually my strategy because I don't have a great push, but here the course is so long, there's so much chance for mistakes, you never know, and I try to pounce when there's an opportunity, and hopefully I'll get one.
I love that you have your own move named after you. That's fantastic. Just tell me a little bit about, so I spoke to Andy yesterday and he was talking about different riders' approach to the corners and how that might vary here specifically in terms of braking, and it's almost like a game of chicken. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, if you go in too deep, then you slide out, and especially this track with it being the pebbles and that on the inside, it's really tricky to pick the right line. I was trying in practice or in qualifying today to try to utilize the inside concrete line, but it's not going to work. So I'm going to have to change up my strategy for this afternoon's race.
And what have you been doing in your downtime while you've been waiting to go? Have you been watching the others?
I've been watching the others. I've been just maybe taping up my equipment a little bit, making sure my bearings are all good to go, and just making sure everything's good. It's trying to stay warm too. Okay, well, do you know what? I'll let you get on with your preparations. We look forward to watching you race. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see who else. I'm going to head over this way because I know there's another car coming. So we'll go. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. The weather is looking great, and just getting ready to get it on.
Absolutely. So we have on our live stream. I'd love to know what you make of the course. How's it treating you? How do you find it?
The track was a bit sketchy on the very first run, on the very first day, and everyone got freaked out. And but as with any track, the more runs you get on it, the more confident you get. And I was still riding pretty conservative on Friday and Saturday. And since today is race day, and qualifying was in the morning, so the race mode changes. It kicks in, and then we're in a totally different mindset right now.
How do you stay in that mindset? Today's been very stop-start.
I just try to stay cool and stay relaxed. And I've been doing this for 25 years now, competing for about 20 plus years. So yeah, I'm already in the groove, so the rhythm just comes naturally to me now.
It's nice to hear that although you've been competing, track make you feel a bit nervous, but in a good way, helps you to think carefully about what your moves are going to be.
Yes, absolutely. When I first started, like every time I go to a new track, it always scares me, and you end up having to walk the track, and then after you ride it a few times, and then you get used to it. And HASANDAGI being a new venue on the world circuit, yes, I've heard many things about it. We're so high above mean sea level. We're about 1,800 meters above mean sea level, but the track is still pretty chill. It's I walked down the track on Friday. I saw that. Yeah, I walked down and I walked back up, and yeah, it was a pretty steep walk back up. Yeah. But the track isn't very fast. It's only about, I hit 75 kilometers per hour down the first straight, and going to turn 3 is all about 78, just under 80 kilometers per hour.
And I asked style of racing about yours firsthand.
My style of racing is I try to get out in front and ride smooth, clean line. Take a Formula One style approach to taking the turns, and yeah, that's my style.
Interesting, you head out in front, so you'll be keeping Colby then coming down towards the end.
Yep, that's the plan. Coming out of each corner, I try to take a peek back and see how far I am, and hopefully it stays that way, and we'll see how it goes.
Look, best of luck. Really looking forward to watching you out there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, you can see there's a good buzz going on around here. People can't wait to get going. We're going to have a quick chat with Grace, actually. Just head over this way. Grace, hello. We're coming for a chat. We haven't heard from how are you doing? You've had quite an up and down day, haven't you? To put it mildly.
Right. I've been doing okay. Do you mean physically, mentally, or just
both?
Spiritually? I'm okay now. I think earlier on it's just this trek is really demanding. there's just so much that it can go wrong. I don't know if you watched the live feed, but there were some massive upsets that just happened on the track. So, you know, today is anyone's game, I think, and I think the trick is to be lucky.
Be lucky, that's the trick. I was asking El Camino earlier, what is the secret to the track? Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I agree. It's basically luck. It's skill, obviously, but luck should also be on your side today.
But also, we were talking earlier about the resilience of athletes and how actually in this game it's crucial to come back. And you're proof of that. You know, you had a bit of a scare earlier, you're back here. How are you getting your mind set? How are you getting yourself ready for this race?
Honestly, I kind of forgot about it.
I'm really sorry.
No, it's fine. I actually forgot about it because, you know, the women's community is just very, very welcoming. And actually the community itself is really welcoming. So when you talk to someone, you know, if they see that you're down, they will try to lift you up. They'll, you know, talk, you know, say, you know, you can do this, you've done it before, you know, it's all a mind game, you know, just let's go have some tea or, you know, something like that. So the community is great, but also you sort of just have to get over it. It's part of the game. You fall, you get up, you pay in pain. But I mean, we're all here to push ourselves in the sport. So, you know, just don't think about it, I guess. Just get on with your life.
Absolutely. Do you know what? I'm really glad you brought up the community, because I have to say, oh my gosh, you are all so welcoming. Like, as you say, as a community, there is an amazing feeling. And I wish that, I mean, I'm sure everyone watching knows this already, but it's an amazing feeling amongst all your athletes. Yes, your competitors, yes, your rivals, but also you're really good friends and you have a great time, which is great to see. It really is.
It really is. It's there's this massive camaraderie in the women's division. So I think I was racing and, you know, there were wet patches and, you know, when we got to the top, you know, you wouldn't normally discuss it with a competitor and say, oh, you know, watch out for this corner, it's still a bit wet. But, you know, this other lady was just pointing out, yeah, careful, you know, I think it's drying up, but just be careful over there. And I was thinking, wow, you wouldn't see this in many other sports. We treat each other like, you know, family. So I think, yeah, it's a great sport. You should join us.
Right, Grace has been plugging this all day. She wants me to get involved. We'll see. Watch this space. I'm not ruling it out. Maybe even today. We'll see. But for now, good luck, Grace. And thank you for coming back and going for it again. And we can't wait to see you better run this time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, how are we doing? Well, I can tell you that the wind has dropped, which I am very pleased about. I'm not sure about the riders. We'll see. I think we have Konstantin here. Konstantin? Yes. Hello. Can we have a quick chat?
Yeah.
I don't know how clearly we can hear you, but how are you feeling ahead of your race?
I'm pretty stoked to be here, and I'm happy that there's no rain, and yeah, I just want to survive and have no injury, and that's it, actually.
That's the quote of the day. I just want to survive. I'm sure. Do you know what? It's interesting. There's a lot of different personalities, a lot of different attitudes to racing. Yours seems very chilled. Is that usual for you?
Yeah, I'm actually used to do the classic luge, so it's the first year I use 3 trucks on my board. 2 trucks in the last 20 years. So the big difference is my board than the others, and it should be made of wood. This level.
What has made you choose to do this?
Yeah, I just want to keep it up, so I tried the 3 trucks this year, and yeah,
yeah,
ranking or whatever.
You want to have fun, and okay, let's. Of course, it's the last day today. We've had to cram all the racing into one day, but have you enjoyed the experience overall so far?
The event is pretty perfect organized all around. I mean, the street could be better, but it will happen in future, I guess so. So I'm pretty happy.
Well, look, enjoy it. I'm sure you will do, and we will be watching. Thank you very much for chatting. Thank you. You too. You too. Okay, we're gonna just trip on the crew here. We're doing a very. I'm gonna give a quick shout out. Here we have the most amazing. Just introduce yourself, audience.
My name is Renato, and I'm inline skater. And I follow for filming some shots, good shots.
Of the moving shots from the start straight down to the first bend is. He's doing an amazing job keeping up with all of our riders. Thank you very much. For now, just make our starts because I imagine. But as promised, I'm going to try on the order what's actually going to be happening. I was hoping we'll obviously back there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my way down to the event village where we have a massive screen so that we can keep up to date with what's going on. Also, the athletes can keep an eye on what everybody else is doing out there on the track, which is really useful in terms of taking notes and also just keeping up to date with everything, falls, successes, the whole lot. We've got it all there on the screen. I'm probably going to see myself in a minute, which is great. We also have our media team and everything. We actually have Grigor making his way up. Can we just stop for you for a quick chat? Do you mind? How are you feeling? How's your day gone so far?
It's okay. Not the best day because it's really sketchy, but I think it's the same for everybody. So yeah, you just gotta survive on this track. Gotta do your best, you know.
I just spoke to Constantine. He said exactly the same thing. His quote was, "You just have to survive." So are we going to see aggressive racing? No, for that reason, I guess.
I mean, racing still is gonna be here, but everybody wants to stay alive, right? So, but yeah, we've seen a crazy crash in the quarterfinals just before. So yeah, everybody can have a problem with their feet and setup with all this with this rough road, you know. So we'll see.
Can you just talk me through that crash? We're getting in and out reception up there. I'd love to hear.
The story of the crash, you mean?
Yeah, what happened?
So I think it was in turn 1. Diego passed Fabio and Antoine just before the corner, and for some reason his foot moved on his board, so he couldn't turn anymore. So he almost crashed out, but he made it. How do you say that? Like he still was able to go in the middle of the road, but Fabio was on his way, so he crashed into Fabio crashed into Diego, but yeah. Now they're trying to resolve this case.
Okay, thank you so much for chatting. We're going to clear the course now because they're going to get started with the next round. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. We're going to get back to competition. Over to you guys.
Thanks, Gemma. Great to hear from so many of the different riders. The next race that we're going to have is the women's downhill, the women's stand-up. Then it's going to be the luge, then the open stand-up as well. So just pulling up the start list for the women here.
And again, thanks to Gemma for interviewing some of the riders. I know I was seeing in the YouTube comments that people wanted to know what happened with that Diego crash. So hopefully you got a little bit more info, and here's some intel on the women's heat.
Yeah, so Jasmine and Miriam would have been in semi-final 1. They've already, I think, had a run, so they're putting them straight through. So we're jumping straight to this, what would be the second semi-final between Marika Wunsch, and we've got Thieler and Grace in there as well. So the 3 riders in this women's stand-up vying for 2 places in the final, up against Jasmine and Miriam as well. Then it will be the luge and then the open stand-up as well. Thanks for the comments coming in. I see there was a lot of comments for interviewing Harry, so I'm going to say it. Let's see if we can grab Harry at some point. Maybe someone will hear me on the commentary and we'll be able to get an interview with Harry, but there's a lot of that chat going on around.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're enjoying the insight from the riders as well. It's great to hear from their perspective in the start.
This next one with this ladies heat coming up, you know, it's not a complete bye. It's not 2 of them, but it's 3. So only 2 will move on. So there's going to be a little bit of a challenge here, and it looks like they're just getting ready to drop. So we'll see them start descending here in a second.
Yeah, and it was good to hear from Grace as well from that interview with Gemma. You know, she's been in the wars today, but she's a tough competitor, and is going to put up a big fight here. And of course it means just one rider misses out on the final. I'm not sure we'll run a small final for one rider given where we are in the day, but certainly maybe in the bigger finals, bigger categories we'll be doing that. Just gone 20 past 4 local time here. I think we got the time. We got the time to get this done because we're at the business end of the competition now. These semi-finals and finals coming up over the next hour or so. And then we're going to have to get on with prize giving pretty quickly. I don't think we're going to live stream the prize giving. I could be wrong on that. Things change, but we'll worry about that a little bit later on. But it looks like we are just about ready to go, and we're going to get some, maybe not on the stream, but the Renato's there following on. So second women's semi-final is underway. Renato right up there as they're going to just fly past us. Trying to get Have you, Grace, running in second place at the moment?
So this could be interesting because second and third are pretty close together. So they're going to be competing pretty heavily to advance to the next round. And here's that kind of different technique going into the corner that I was talking about. Some people sliding quite a bit before the corner to dump their speed, some doing the pre-drift, some foot braking. So it's interesting to see that. Grace now is in second and has a little bit of a gap. So she looking like she could move on to the next round.
Yeah, still a long way to go. This is a long track, of course, over 3 kilometers in length. Oh, there's a problem there. We've got a rider down into the bale. So just 2 left standing in this second semi-final in the women's stand-up. And Grace Wong will have seen that. She was in second place, been challenged hard. But now it's all about staying on the board and riding it through. I think it's Marika Wunsch leading the way. There she is at the front of the race. All of the riders have got the GoPros with them as well. Nice big drift. Oh no!
Little clip on the bales, but she's right back up.
Yeah, she just made that a little bit late. Yeah. These bumpy road conditions as well.
And it looks like it wasn't a direct hit on the bales. She was probably just about to make that corner. There's Grace going around the rock right, which I know you've probably heard me complaining about as one of the most difficult corners on the track that I got to ride. Grace handled that with ease. Again, you can kind of see some opposite slide direction into this left-hand corner. Some different styles. But both of these ladies in front look solid, and they will likely be advancing to the next round.
Yeah, it's all about maybe just coming off the gas pedal a little bit in this at this stage of the race. We're more than halfway down the course, and just keep that board moving, stay on your feet through corner number 6 here. And this one's really, I love the exit here because you can sweep and then cut tight left again, which Grace has done.
Totally, the exit of that corner puts you right on the outside, right on the white line, but then you have to set up for this kind of weird left kink. That's an interesting corner for sure. Looks like we're back on the start line with the Luge. Got Colby Parks on the right.
Yeah, we got Abdil Madzan. Apologies if you're losing any pictures. There we go. So this one we have Abdil Madzan, Colby Parks, and Aishi Mini from Belgium. Strong looking start here from, I think that's is that Abdil in front from Malaysia.
Yep. Yeah, he got a solid, I feel bad. I don't know what they call it. Maybe not a kick, but a hand push off the start. And it looks like second and third are going to be kind of vying to move on to get that second place to advance to the next round.
So this semi-final number 1, top 2, of course, into the final. We've got 4 in the second semi-final. First chance to see head-to-head racing from the lugers.
And I didn't really think about that the way that I see with these lugers. Obviously they're using their feet to slow down, and on some of the entrances to these corners, there's these kind of lines, these black lines that you can see going across the road, and I imagine that putting a foot down over those, I could see with Abdil that he got a little bit of a jump in the luge. His feet hit the ground and his board kind of popped up a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty bumpy in there. Yeah. You're not getting that purchase with the feet, and but it is the same for everyone out there, as we've heard in the interviews. And different technique, to sit up, try and scrub some of that speed off, and really working with the body, so in harmony with the board. And Colby Parks is up into second place now. Abdil Madzan out of Malaysia, experienced competitor, pulling ahead. Now Colby Parks is putting a little bit of distance on third place as well. to heat of 4 in perfect timing there. Heat of 4 in semi-final 2. David Frege, Andrew Spate, Konstantin Wiegel. It's Konstantin from Austria out on the left, far left of your screen, and Julie Ertz as well. She's just to the left of
Spate.
Yeah, there's Colby Parks, still running in second place in the first of the semi-finals. Beautiful sunshine out. We're underway. Oh, it's close out of the start, and Konstantin's ended up right behind Andrew Spate, getting underway. He's got the white rose of Yorkshire on his left sleeve.
Yeah, we're seeing lots of love for Spate and the UK downhill scene in the chat. So thanks everyone from the UK that's joining us and cheering your boy on. Looks like he's going third into this first corner.
Yeah, Spate running in first. He's just sitting up a little tall, just trying to keep his eyes focused on what's happening out in front of him. Again, we'll bring you the results after the semi-finals are all complete. And Spate's got up into second place.
And Julie, I think, into the bales there. Yeah. Lost a GoPro. She got right up there. I think she'll be okay. You know, it's interesting. I heard Spate talking a lot about the importance of abdominal muscles for luge, which makes so much sense. I'm sure these guys are rocking hard 8-packs under their suits.
Yeah, core strength, trunk strength, so key in this one. Being able to sort of work in harmony with the board and the little subtleties that you need to get these boards and keep this turning well and keeping that speed up. It is Frege out in front. Spate running in second place. There is Andrew Spate from Yorkshire. Sitting up ahead of this next to this, the rock turn as you've been talking about.
That one's tricky.
Yeah, look at the angle he's having to generate to pull there. Some of the G-forces get pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting to see pretty much everyone's exiting right near the bales on the exit of that right, so you can tell how kind of difficult that one is. They're using every inch of the road that they can.
Yeah, we heard Colby talking about using that sort of concrete section in qualifying. We saw him do it in qualifying, saying didn't work.
Right.
Not going for it this time around when it matters.
Yeah, and I heard that's maybe, again, I don't want to spread rumors, but the kind of speculation behind the Diego crash was that he tried to kind of bang on the inside of that concrete. But man, I rode on some of it earlier, and it is incredibly rough on that intersection. So while it would save you some time and make for a tight line, you risk going over some chunder and coming off the board.
So semi-final 1 for the men's stand-up. We got Alex, Yanis, Oscar, and Chase in the starts. Semi-final 2 will be up next. Gregory, Vaclav, Diego, and Cole. Man, this is going to be fun, isn't it? This is going to be good. Where's your money at, folks?
These guys are looking pretty calm on the line. Hopefully they don't get any delays here. I know we had some of the lugers hit the bales, so we may need to take some time for a little track adjustment. Hopefully these guys don't have to sit with their thoughts and feelings for too long at the start line.
Yeah, we may just have to sweep the track a little bit after the lugers have been down, and I want to get some of that fresh hay off of the track, and hopefully those bales aren't damaged and we can get it back to the farm where it's needed.
Right. Although I will say, I know I've ridden at some events that are weekends long, and you almost kind of like the bales to be damaged. It softens them up. Softens them up a little bit.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it looks like we're just getting some of the hay placed back. Hopefully get a little sweep on some of that loose hay that's on the ground, because as we were saying, you can see some of these riders, they're using every inch of road and exiting really wide, kind of inches away from the bales. So we want to make sure that hay is swept off the road if a wheel runs over a hay, you know, bits of hay while trying to turn, it's likely that the board will slip out from under you. So hopefully we can get that stuff cleaned up quickly. I just saw Julie there coming across the finish line. Glad to see that she's okay. Looks like these boys are about to drop. So we got Chase Hiller on the right. Oh, they're off. And here they go. Chase is in back. It's a little hard to tell with the angle. Oh man, they're going to be tight going into this first one. Lining up, but Chase looks to be making a pass down the straight along the outside. He's kind of taking a different line than everyone else. It's pretty cool to see. Yeah, and he pulled it. He's making some passes.
Yeah, he looked like he had the confidence in himself to run that line, and he knew he was going to have the speed coming into this first corner, but this is where it's really interesting. Chase Hiller on the inside, and he's gone from like third up to first.
Yeah. Oh, he's hanging on to it. We got Oscar. Oh, Chase is down. Oscar avoids him. So that will be Oscar, Giannis, and Alex in the top three here. That will be a question. It's, you know, highly unlikely Chase will make up that time, but only two are moving on. Let's see if Oscar can come from third up to a second position.
Yeah, so Chase has got back on his feet, and he's just got to keep going. You don't know what's going to happen further down the course.
Right, all three could.
Yeah, we've seen it.
We've seen it before.
I want to see them all on their feet.
Oscar goes down. It's a high side, so that's when the board side sideways, and then grips up and will throw you over the front. So that's a bummer, but he's back on his board. He looks okay. And it's good that he got back on it because, like you said, you never know what's going to happen. These front two are looking solid. But anything can happen.
Yeah, Giannis and Alex at the head of the race right now. They're just starting to look around and just.
Yeah, I think they're making a smart call. Strategy is strong. They know that if they just hang out, they'll advance to the next round. So, up next.
Yeah, semi-final 2. Gregory Schwab, Vaclav Van Cara, Diego Poncelet, and Cole Trotter in semi-final number 2. They may just hold them a second. Are they going to hold them just in case the track is not in ideal condition? Doesn't look that way. Looks like...
Yeah, there was some, Oscar did hit the hay, but didn't look like hard. He might not have even touched it, and then Chase wiped kind of coming out of a corner, so I don't think he hit the hay early or either, so they should send these guys pretty quickly. There's Oscar there. And Chase right behind him, so it's nice to see that these guys are, despite their falls, still back up on the board, looking relatively uninjured, if at all.
Hopefully all okay. So Alex Suganakis and Yanis Markarian through into the final as we get lined up and ready to go for the second of the semi-finals. Who is going to join them in the big final? Coming up a little later on. Loving the numbers that we got on the live stream here. It's awesome to have you along. The French guys absolutely killing it in semi-final number 1 and out of the start here in semi-final 2. It's close again. It's tight.
And Cole, he was looking a little light on the push, but strategy was good. He's in second place. We'll see if he gets drafted and passed by Fabio. Sorry, Gregory. I get confused on the white leathers. That's Gregory in third, Cole in second. They're looking tight going into this first left.
Let's see, is everyone through cleanly out of this first turn? Yeah. It's close to the hay, but hanging on. Everyone that's still going strong.
Looks like we got Diego in third right behind Cole. Quick air brake. Oh, there's a pass on the inside. Oh, Cole's still hanging on to... Cole got rubbed!
Oh, and two runners down.
From behind. It's okay, it looks like some of the boards might have gone missing.
Yeah, they're still got...
It was really tight going into that corner, and when everyone's putting their board sideways... Oh, there goes a board.
Oh, yeah, that's going to take a little bit of a hike to grab that one back. So 2 men left standing.
That's Diego and Gregory left standing, and if they're smart, they'll realize that the other guys have crashed, and if they just kind of hang out, they'll be able to advance. But again, you never know what happens. So hopefully the other third and fourth get to their boards and can keep riding down the hill.
So more drama in the second semi-final. Drama all over the racetrack here. We're back on the drone. Gregory and Diego looking to join the two Frenchmen in the big final. In the late afternoon sunshine, and boy, are we glad to have it. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Finally catching up with the board.
Yeah. Hope to see Cole get back on his board. I hope he's okay. Again, it looked really tight going into that right. They were all getting sideways. You know, it's based on different wheels that people are riding. They slide at kind of different speeds and frequencies. I see Cole there's back on his board, so that's good to see. And that's just racing sometimes. You know, you'll make collisions when things are tight.
Robin is racing.
Yep.
That's it. You know, these two out of the front, all going for the concrete line.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's you know, it's interesting. We'll see if Diego hangs on to that line as we get further on. That's like I said, a pretty risky one, but if you can pull it off, you're definitely going to be making some passes through those concrete sections.
I love this shot looking back up.
It's such a beautiful road. And I mean, it's a beautifully designed road. Of course, we've talked about the pavement a little bit. It is pretty rough, but still totally rideable. Hoping to get it repaved for next year. If that happened, this track would really change entirely. The speeds would increase. Slides would become different. I think track length would change maybe.
We'd have the consistency as well.
Right.
From top to bottom.
Totally.
And that's going to change the mindset of the riders as 100%. Well, and how they can attack it and things. But right now, we heard it a little bit in some of the interviews. It's kind of survival, but it's all part of the challenge. We've got to race different circuits, different tracks, different environments throughout the year, and you know, the best of the best will stand up in or sit down if you're on a luge in whatever conditions you're faced with.
And I just kind of realized that I don't think we've seen a stand-up heat without a crash, so that really tells you the kind of level of riding that's going on here. You'd think that crashing means they're not skilled, but in fact crashing means that they're pushing it hard, they're riding close to each other, and they want the win. So that's interesting to see. So hopefully, you know, no one gets injured. Here we are hanging out with some of the riders down at the bottom. It's good to see that everyone's standing despite some of the slams that we've seen. See Oscar there on the right, maybe talking about his crash. He had that high side where he put his board sideways. His wheels gripped up suddenly and then sent him over the front of the board. So it's good to see that he's standing and hanging out with everyone.
So riders making it down to the finish. We're taking everybody up in one go. Some of the losers still believe down in the finish as well. And then it's going to be the last runs of the day. We're going to have small finals and big finals coming up. So that stand-up final. Yeah, Gregory, Yanis, Alexandros Sugnakis and Diego Poncelet in that men's and that open stand-up final. The luge final, street luge final, Abdel Madzan, David Frager, Colby Parks and Andrew Spate. And then the women's stand-up, Yasmin Hanegraaff, Grace Wong, Miriam Weishu and Thieler will be all in the women's big final. So we'll run a small final we'll run a small final for the stand-up men, or the open stand-up, and in the luge as well. So there's going to be just a little break in the action as everyone piles back onto the bus, gets back to the top, and whilst we've waiting for all the riders to make their way back to the start for the final races of the day, we'll hand it over to Gemma back in the start, and I wonder who she's found.
I'm here now with Olav. So many questions, so I'll stick to a basic one. Talk me through your days so far.
Well, it's been kind of a roller coaster. It's been raining and foggy, and now it's beautiful. So it all ended well, I guess. But I'm out of the race. Didn't do so well. Almost crashed out the whole pack. But I'm pretty stoked. Not hurt. And yeah, having fun.
I know some athletes try and learn lessons on each race, on each track to take forwards. What will you take forwards from this?
Oof, I gotta say the biggest lesson is this road needs to be repaved because all the patches and the rough asphalt makes your feet just jump around on the board. So my feet are just sliding off the board, and then if your feet are in the wrong position, you can't turn.
I think that lesson has been learned. Talk us through from your perspective. I mean, you're sitting here now watching on the screen behind you. What is your perspective on what's going on out there? Who's your money on? What do you think is going to unfold?
Oof, I think Diego is looking strong. He had kind of a dramatic last heat with Fabio, so some discussion on whether he's legitimately allowed to be in the race, but it seems that he is. But I think that he's looking strong. He's looking really fast on this hill, so it's on him.
And do you think there's some nerves that have been rattled after this? We've seen quite a few crashes, quite a few incidents, even amongst the most confident riders? It's got to play with your mind a little.
Yeah, I think so. We pretend that we're fine, but you get shook like deep within. It's like, ugh.
We get the truth here. We get the truth.
Yeah, so yeah, this hill, a lot of people have said it's about survival, and it's really true.
Yeah. How do you unwind from a competition, especially one like this?
Just a lot of beer. Yeah, a lot of beer.
Fair play. Olof, thank you for talking. I'll let you get back and watch the action on the screen. Thank you very much. A lot of beer. I don't blame him. I think a lot of beer before and after is probably the best medicine. Let's go and have a chat over here. We have Antoine and Khalil. In fact, I don't think we have time, but we will talk to them later.
Thanks, Gemma. Great to hear from Olaf there. And yeah, we're hearing a lot about the chat about the road, but the organisers know that. I mean, it was said pretty early on Friday, and it looks like we want to be coming back here next year, and the commitment there, if we're going to come back and have this event, is the road's going to be resurfaced. And yeah, that's we need the commitment from venues, from the hosts, and the commitment and that our organisers here in AKSARAY have shown is absolutely fantastic. Really made it a special event for everybody that's been here. There's the view looking up around at the start area, Riders Lounge, media tent, the broadcast truck, as well as a couple of lucky folk who've got to sit in there for the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's been such a beautiful place to hang out. It's been such a beautiful place to hang out, and we've been having riders meetings at this palatial hotel at the top of the hill among the clouds, so couldn't ask for a better backdrop for a race like this. And again, we're so well taken care of by the locals, the course workers, the officials, the policemen, the medics. All big thanks to those people. And again, to kind of keep this sort of thing going, please share the live link. We're getting close to the finals, so share this live stream with your friends, get that view count up. It will make this easier to do in the future and means the world to us. We're seeing lots of positive comments on the YouTube live stream, so keep those coming as well. I love seeing where everyone is watching from. We've got quite an international crowd. Yeah, and, finals are coming up, so comment in there, drop your predictions, your bets. Seeing lots of chatter, people arguing back and forth about who's going to be on the podium. Yeah,
we love it. Love the comments coming in, the engagement. Share, like, subscribe. There's a YouTube channel though, so you got to subscribe, and then you'll get hit by all of the content that gets added to the WDSC YouTube channel. So you've got to be involved.
That's a great point, and as you can probably see, a lot of the riders are wearing both front-facing and rear-facing GoPros. So although we don't have those GoPro angles for the live stream because that would be pretty difficult, they will be, chopped up, and the kind of highlights will be put on the WDSC YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe there and check out the clips as they get released.
Yeah, and you'll find out when the highlights package of the whole weekend here in Turkey is available to watch as well. That's going to be distributed globally. Some huge networks are picking that up, sharing the love for this sport and hopefully taking it to a new level. That's where we want to get to. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. The best weather we've had since we got here, really.
Super nice for you and I as we were freezing our fingers off a second ago. So nice to be getting some sun rays. Hopefully the riders can stay warm till the finals.
It's not long to go. The riders are on the bus on their way back up. Now I think they're about halfway up the track already. These bus drivers know these hairpins pretty well by now. And then we'll get underway with small finals where we have them and big finals. Amazing views from up here. You can see some distance in this part of the world, Cappadocia, with amazing natural terrain, so much history, so much to see. I'm looking way down the valley at that lake there on the road towards AKSARAY.
Seeing a couple questions, which are good ones in the live stream about what it takes to be a competitor here, and actually, as far as I know, we've got
amazing views, and we're just going to have a little look at some of those views in a moment's time with the package that's been put together by our production crew. I'm going to talk you through that once we see it. So, looking down at the valley right now, there's the view up in here. Some of the sights of this absolutely stunning part of the world that we are privileged to be at. There's so much to see and do here for all the family. If you're considering somewhere to go, then why not go to Turkey? Apologies if my Turkish is not quite up to scratch yet, but it's getting there. Some of the caves and the cities and towns in the caves, famous for the hot air ballooning as well in this part of the world. I'm sure some of you have seen the pictures. Hundreds of hot air balloons flying in the morning sunshine. If you like history, if you like the natural world, I can recommend Cappadocia.
Beautiful area. We've been fortunate enough to check out some of the local sights and scenes. The history here is so deep, and there's some really beautiful stuff to take in. So whether you come back and skate this road for a competition or just come back and check out some of the local sites, you're going to have a good time. I saw a good question in the chat actually about coming back. We're hoping to get this road repaved for next year. People are also asking about what it takes to be a competitor in the WDSC. And as far as I know, if you're a downhill skateboarder, you've got the right safety equipment, the leathers, the helmet, the board, you can, as of right now, it's open entry. As this kind of grows and gets bigger, that may change. But right now, it's kind of open to anyone that's got the right gear and can, afford the travel internationally. So we'd love to see this grow. We'd love to see more skaters join.
Yeah, best thing, check out WGASF website. There's the rules, which has got all the safety information that you would need on that. It is still open for the time being, but WGSF website and Facebook page is going to get updated in the next couple of weeks. But that's probably your protocol, and of course, World Downhill Skateboarding Championship.com as well. And as soon as there's any news on next season, then or next year, it'll be on there. And if you're keen, come get involved or find a community in your local area. Just get out and get riding.
Totally. I want to give a quick shout out to people watching from Christchurch, New Zealand, Zambia, West Virginia. We've got people all over the place. It's awesome to see so many of the comments. People are also asking how long until we see the finals go down. I can't tell you for sure, but the riders the riders have just made it up to the top of the track. So we should be getting going here pretty soon. So stay tuned. Don't leave the live chat. Just talk with your friends in the comments. Make your predictions. We'll get going here again soon. Hopefully the weather, the weather's looking good. It's going to hold. I think it's unlikely we'll see rain, so that's good. It will be a good, clean final. I want to give one more shout out to Buga and Downhill 254 in Kenya, trying to get me to say bad things on the microphone, which I will not do, but I appreciate the comments. So we've got the final here for all you guys in the chat wanting to know. The open stand-up final will be Gregory, Giannis, Alexandros, and Diego. The consolation final will be Oscar, Cole, Vaclav, and Chase. That'll be a pretty exciting group. That consi final, a lot of those guys are in that due to crashes. We'll see if we can get clean runs for both. Like I mentioned, I don't think we've seen a stand-up heat without a crash. Of course, the crashes are interesting, but we want the riders to stay safe. So we may see some clean runs here in the end.
Let's hope we have a clean final. But if the crash happens, it happens as part of the game. And we just got to hope everyone can stay safe, get back on the board. But the riders are just going to be having a few minutes at the top and just getting themselves ready for the finals coming up. It shouldn't be more than sort of 5-10 minutes, so try not to go anywhere. Now's a quick chance to grab a snack and just get yourself ready for the action, which is going to throw down here over the next sort of 10-15 minutes or so. The medals are up for grabs, and then we'll be pretty much straight into prize giving. It's just coming up to 5 p.m. local time.
Yeah, and going back to the safety, I again just want to give a huge applause to the WDSC and WGSF for addressing rider concerns on track safety. The riders in a meeting mentioned that they felt there was maybe not enough hay on some of the corners, or that hay could be placed in better spots, and they listened immediately, went out into the farmlands or rural areas.
The farms.
Yeah, and sourced, I think, like 200 or 300 more hay bales, got them placed on the road. It caused a slight delay, but again, if the riders aren't here and aren't feeling safe, then there's not much to watch. So again, we really want to applaud those organizations for listening to the riders, hearing their concerns about track safety, and getting some more hay laid down. Most often these riders are skating open roads with cars, guardrails, cliffs, rocks, but when you're competing and pushing yourself at 100% down these roads, we understand that you want all the protection that you can have.
Yeah, and the riders have been pretty happy. I think they've appreciated their concerns, been listened to, and it made for some changes to the program. It's made for a really full day today, less practice runs and everything. But it's important that the track is in as good a condition as it can be for the riders, and that's certainly been what is achieved here. It was a difficult effort to grab those extra 300 hay bales, and I don't know if anyone saw the truck coming up. I'll stick that on Instagram at some point.
Yeah, I got a photo
overloaded.
Of it yeah, it looked like hay was going to topple off the top. Quick check-in on the chat. People have been asking about the trucks that Cole is riding. I'm not going to tell you guys what those are, but you can keep guessing in the chat. People seem to be pretty stoked on Diego's 9.81 board that he's riding, so it will be exciting to see him riding that in the finals here in a second. Again, throw your predictions in the chat. We love seeing that sort of stuff. I think I saw some people viewing from Italy, so hello to you guys.
Can see Grenoble representing as well in the chat. That beautiful town in France. I'm going to guess which Winter Olympics did it host. Was it 1968? I don't know. Nerdy. I'm not going to look it up. Could have been 64. Was it even 62? I don't know. Diego the Goat.
Diego the Goat, he is.
Let's not have a goat chat already. It's my first event. I'm not ready for the goat chat.
But yeah, this is going to be a pretty stacked final and consi. It's going to be pretty exciting. Again, we've got Gregory in finals for open stand-up. We have Gregory, Giannis, Alexandros, Diego. And then in consis, we have Oscar, Cole, Vaclav, and Chase. So those will be pretty, those could both, one of them is a final, the other one might as well be a final. Those riders are incredibly talented. It's going to be a good one, so stay tuned. Share this live stream link with your friends. We want to get more and more people viewing. The more people that we have viewing, the easier this becomes for next year. Maybe encourage the locals to repave the track, which would,
although we're going to be in the way of the racing,
for the better, I think. It's definitely interesting the way that it's paved now, but it would be nice to see it with a nice slick blacktop. Honestly, I think if we saw the road get repaved with something really fresh and slick, you'd see speeds increase maybe as much as 10 miles per hour. So it would really change the way that riders are entering these corners. So keep that link shared, get more viewers, get the road repaved, get them back here next year, get us announcers a heater.
And really, that's what it's all about. Or maybe we just do the event earlier in the year.
Yeah.
It's a little warmer.
Yeah.
Still brought my sun cream. I always chat about sun cream on commentary. But, because as soon as that sun hit for a little bit, I could feel my face, Scottish skin burning up. Everyone's just getting back into position. At the start, it's almost 5 p.m. But once we get underway here, it shouldn't be too long. I think there may be one or two athletes going, am I going to make my flight? Because there's a few folk flying out tonight. But it looks like people are just getting ready in the start. We've only got 5 races to do. A couple of consolation finals or small finals. And then 3 big finals as well. So still lots of action, lots of drama over the next few minutes. Been a mammoth effort by everybody, riders included, volunteers, marshals, the local police, which have gathered to our left here, Liam.
Yeah.
So
they have them feeling well protected. They all
protected or under pressure?
Yeah.
I'm not sure which it is yet. Maybe they're just waiting for us to finish and come and have a word.
As a skateboarder, usually police make me nervous, but they seem to be pretty chill. Just taking a minute to read some of the comments. And again, we just want to thank all the locals, like the local police, the ambulance workers, the course workers, and the officials that have been so hospitable to us. As some of you may know, this track location is actually kind of last minute. It was supposed to be on a different hill. It got switched, and I am so impressed that there's this much infrastructure around this event at such short notice. This is arguably one of the kind of best run, best organized events that I've been to, and I've been doing this downhill skateboarding thing for quite some time. So it's cool to see all the locals who are new to downhill skateboarding and downhill luge come together and really step up and run a proper event.
Yeah, one of the things we're hoping for is to get some more local riders next year. This event is going out on Turkish television as well, and I think that's going to bring some more attention to the event. So I'm just going to update you with the information I have. There's going to be a couple of riders in the luge dropping out of the consolation final. Just check that is so. Elchi and Julie are going to drop out at the consolation final, so they do a women's luge final instead, which makes sense. And again, flexibility from Will and Chris allowing that to happen, I think, is so good. And maybe down the line as categories grow and things, that's not going to be as easy to do, but the flexibility, I think, is absolutely key. So
yeah, it's amazing to see how Chris and Will from the WGSF are communicating with the riders, listening to their needs, listening to their feedback, and really changing things on the fly. It you know, on one hand, it makes our jobs difficult to communicate to you guys what's going on, but in the end, you know, it gives the riders kind of the best experience and the best competition. So we appreciate you guys bearing with us as we kind of figure out what's going on the spot. But again, a big applause to the organizers for being so flexible. And as we mentioned, as categories grow and we see more and more riders, this may not be the case, but it's nice to be able to do it now.
Well, it looks like we are getting into position here, just about ready. We're going to have the... Is it going to be the women's final? Or have we got the men? I'm struggling to see at the moment. I think... Just pulling up my list. Okay. So moments away from finals getting underway. Gonna have looks like Luge first.
Yep, they're looking like they're getting ready to line up. Tried to ignore them, but I've seen a couple comments asking people me to race next year, which will definitely not happen. I
want you here.
Yeah, I quite like being on the microphone, and don't
doing a great job as well, my friend.
Thank you. Don't very much like being in leather, but I like cheering on my friends. So
we're gonna leather up for a commentary.
That's how we'll stay warm.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like this is consolation downhill stand up. So it'll be Cole, Oscar, and Vaclav. Oh, this is... Sorry, I'm not quite sure what's going on here because Chase would have been in this run, but it looks like he stepped out. So we've got Oscar, then Cole, then Vaclav going into the first left. Oscar's out in front, followed by Cole, then Vaclav. So essentially these people here are competing for 5th, 6th, and 7th place. This is the consolation final.
Yeah, let's hope Chase is okay. He's been in a few battles today, hasn't he? Maybe just decided he didn't want another run down the track.
Right.
So small final, the consolation final. Got to get the terminology right here. And yeah, these points matter.
Yep. We did see Chase ride down, so, you know, even though he's stepping out of this race, he shouldn't be too injured. Ooh, Oscar had a quick wobble into that right, but it looks like he's hanging on.
Yeah, this one is close, though, isn't it? Through first couple of...
Vaclav made a nice pass.
You see, just going over one of those repaved moments there, that board really wobbles.
Yep.
Coming across, and it's really pushing the riders.
And Cole seems to be using a bit of strategy. I saw him doing some air braking. He wasn't looking to draft and get close to those guys, so he may be looking to make a strategic pass here. But Vaclav does seem to be leading by a little bit. Now Cole and Oscar are kind of battling it out in a straightaway here. Oscar braking tuck to get into Cole's draft. That draft is pretty important. You can really catch up on someone with that. Cole flicking out a quick drift around that difficult rock right that we've talked about. Hanging onto it. And just as I kind of predicted, Oscar used some of that draft speed to make a pass on Cole.
Yeah, so Oscar up into second. Vaclav still in the lead. But Cole, still
picking up on him. Yeah, he's getting there. And he'll get into Oscar's draft here. Vaclav's got them led by quite a bit. They definitely could catch up on him, but I would say his lead, it's maybe unlikely. Now Cole and Oscar are kind of battling for... 7th place.
6th place.
Sixth
Sorry.
place. Thank you.
I'm not very good at maths either.
I'm a skateboarder, not a mathematician.
Yeah, me neither. So I had to have a lot of help to get through maths at school. So, but then again, what excuse? We've got these on our...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so this Consi final is still... Everyone stayed on their feet so far. Vaclav has put a really special run together. And at this stage, this is where we unfortunately lose the drone. But we're going to get ready now for the women's stand-up final. Yasmin Hanegraaff there in the blue. Thiele as well. Weisschu and Wong in this women's stand-up final. Yasmin had a run with the men in the open category earlier on. It's been a bit of a wait for her since then. Oh, it was almost a jump in the start there to my eye, but I couldn't hear the count.
Down, and Jasmine goes down as well.
Oh, is that broken?
Yeah, it looks
GoPro
like a puck or a
puck
GoPro
maybe,
came
yeah.
off. Oh, but they're both back on their boards.
So it could have been a GoPro mount or something. Let's hope it was a GoPro mount and not a puck.
Not a puck. That would be a shocker if you drop a hand with no puck on it. I've seen that happen before, and it's not fun.
So just passing our position here. Well, right out of the start. Big drama. Well, the men's Consi final is completed. There's a yellow flag out I just saw on the course. So have we lost somebody else? Well, Yasmin is catching up here after falling out of the start. Yeah, she's really putting the hammer down.
Grace is out in front by quite a bit, but there's some serious distance being made up by Jasmine, especially after that crash.
The pressure now on Grace Wong. She knows she's been hunted down by Yasmin Hanegraaff, who I think really likes this course. She was unsure coming in, thinking it may be tricky with the top section, but she's carrying the speed and maintaining the speed really well. And these tight turns suit her style.
Yep.
Grace Wong just scrubbing the speed and just managing it through the turn well. She's holding off. Yasmin looking behind her here.
Yep. We'll see. It seems like Yasmin's able to make up some of that distance, and we've definitely still got some of the track left. Grace seems to be signaling. Oh, I think that's because, like I was saying, some of these people are doing slides in the opposite direction. Oh, there Jasmine goes for the pass.
Yeah, but she's signaling to let the riders know behind her that what she was going to do there.
Exactly.
But this is so smooth from Yasmin as well. She's just put that crash out of the start behind her right away and built the race from there. It's a long track. You've got the time. And she's got the confidence in herself and her ability to do that. And she is looking good here at the front of the race. But it's still on. Everyone's still in contention.
Yeah, totally. They're pretty evenly spaced. Oh, we might see a pass from third to second here. And from fourth to third. That's pretty exciting. So I think Jasmine's leading by quite a bit now, and she's in first place.
Yeah, she's got about 4 seconds. Oh, the rider in second has gone down in that turn.
Yep, so then Grace is going to come back from fourth to third. That rider looks like she's she's back on her board, so she's all good. Looks like she may be having an issue with her puck, which could be from that start line crash. Sometimes when you fall and your puck removes or gets removed, you can lose the Velcro on your glove, making it so that your puck doesn't stick that well. So maybe something like that happened. It looks like we're about to launch.
This will be the women's
luge
stand. Yeah, women's luge. Stand up. We just had that.
Yeah.
Just find the right bit on my screen. It should be Elchi and Julie. Konstantin's going to do some filming from behind here. That's why you're seeing him in there. He would have been in this in a Consi final, but with the women going for a women's final, rather than sending Konstantin Wiegel down on his own, he's just going to do some filming and give us some amazing shots that'll come out either on social media for the highlights package as well. Well, there's Yasmin in the finish.
Looks like she came across first for the women's stand-up final.
So huge congratulations to her for picking up the win.
Yep.
And was that just a little shot of Grace in third?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a good reward for her after a real battle that she's been in all day long here. So this is the women's luge final. Have we got Julie in second? Is that right?
Yeah, that looks right. Yeah, I think Julie's in second.
I'm trying my best to learn the leathers, everyone. So bear with me, folks. I do apologize.
I should know better, and I don't. So I'm trying to learn as well. So bear with us, please.
Elsie Mini leading in this women's final. I can't wait to see this footage, actually, when we get hold of this. It's going to be a really interesting perspective of the track.
It's interesting to see the lugers do the air brake as well, creating some wind drag to slow down. They do have their feet, but I imagine they'll slow them down. The feet drag slow them down a little too much. That's where the air braking comes in. And I see a lot of comments for the results of the Open Consi. We are trying to get that to you, keep you posted. And likely you'll see those riders at the top of the hill and hopefully getting some interviews with Gemma going and those riders. So stay tuned to kind of hear about the consolation round there.
Yeah, we'll get all the results are going to get thrown up on social media as well. And I don't think we're going to stream the prize giving. There is the race winner. Doing a quick interview for the highlights package and social media.
And now we've got the luge final. We've got Spate on the right, Colby next to him, David next to him, and then Abdul all the way on the left. So this is the luge final.
Yeah, men's luge final. Abdul Matan from Malaysia, David Frege from France, Colby Parks from Canada, Andrew Spate from the UK, and we get underway. Great start from...
Yeah, Abdul's got such a powerful start.
He generates so much speed, doesn't he? Just able to move those arms quickly. Spate in fourth place.
Spate does seem to be a fan favorite in the chat, so we'll see if some of his fans can help boost him along here.
Yeah, and he's done well, making it through into the final.
Colby and David seem to be pretty tight in second and third, but catching up on Abdul. Abdul, you know, I'm wondering if it's a technique now. I'm seeing his luge raise a little bit, and I'm wondering if that's because of the road or if he's doing it on purpose. It very well could be the road.
Could be just give himself a little bit more room, a bit more travel, perhaps.
Yep.
But he's keeping it tight out in front. I see it's just lifting that
board.
He's
just lifting the luge up. That's definitely intentional. So that's an interesting technique. Again, my background is not in luge, but it's interesting to watch what these guys do.
Yeah.
So we got Spate in fourth and the drone following him. And I want to make a quick correction. I think the luge bracket that we watched previously was actually the Consi's and not the women's.
No, they were filming. Constantine, I believe, was filming the women's final. I'm just going to double check on that, but I want to keep my eye.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we get you guys the right info. Abdul's looking so strong. He's leading out in front by quite a bit.
Yeah, he's built up a big lead here, and he's looking good. And it's all come from that powerful start of his. Excuse me, got himself out in front early, building up that lead, and he's smooth on the track, working that body well. Looks like Spate still running in fourth place. Frege in second. Colby Parks in third. And we're riding just above him. Now we focus on Frege from France into this next turn. This is where the exits. You can hit that apex on the right-hand side, drift over to the left, and then try and get back down low. But Abdul Madzan has put together a special run in this men's luge final.
Yeah, man, he's put quite the gap in between himself and second place, but it's nice to see Colby and David still pretty tight for second and third.
Barring no problems, that's how it is going to finish in that luge final. And I've now just got to find the right graphic for the stand-up final. We've got Gregory Schwab, Yanis Markarian, Alexandros Tsouganakis, Diego Poncelet. What a lineup this is. This is going to be dramatic, folks. And if I'm not mistaken, and I've probably been mistaken a lot today, this is the last race we're going to see.
Believe so. Yep.
So enjoy it, folks. We're going to enjoy it. We've had an amazing afternoon here bringing you all the action. And we're not done yet. Gregory, Yanis, Alexandros, Diego. French fans, I know you've been making some noise on the live chat. You're going to keep those tricolores flying high here.
And keep those predictions coming. We're about to drop finals here. I'm seeing lots of you guys comment in the chat. We love to see that. We've got, it seems like a pretty equal following for each final rider. They're just getting their GoPros set up. There we go, Luge. Finals coming across the finish line. Looks like Colby, or excuse me, Spate came in fourth there.
Colby third, Frege second.
And Abdulin first.
Yeah. Unofficial, of course.
Yeah.
And now it's time for the open stand-up final. Diego looking loose, bouncing around,
Diego's,
ready to go.
Looks like a boxer.
Yeah, he's
Again,
dialed
I said
in.
it earlier, this man Diego is an absolute machine. He takes racing seriously. Super nice guy, but he's dedicated to his craft. He's getting his rest. He's drinking his water. He's doing yoga. He's hitting the gym. So I wouldn't be surprised if that shows through today. But we've also seen impressive performances from all the other finalists as well.
So just getting news in there, just doing some work on turn number 7 at the moment. So there may just be a moment or two before we get back underway. So turn number 7 just being worked on fixing those hay bales at the moment. So that's the view in the finish area. All of the riders seem to be safely down in the finish, and then prize giving is actually going to take place back up at near the start, just by the riders area.
Oh yeah, I did see a podium going up there, so we may be able to get you guys out as well. Looks like the stand-up is getting ready to go. If I'm not mistaken, all of the riders here in the stand-up finals are on the same gear. They're all riding the same wheels, all riding the same brand of trucks, and I believe the same brand of boards, which is quite interesting. Although I think most of these riders could be riding a Walmart board and they'd be still shredding. Okay, they're getting really set here, so we're probably going to drop any moment.
So men's open stand-up final ready to go. I've got a lot of noise in my ears coming from the truck right now, so I'm going to try and not talk over you if you start talking.
That's a little bit of a false start.
Oh. Yeah, and they've been called back.
It looked like one, maybe two of the riders jumped the gun there. Luckily, they were able to catch it. Diego definitely didn't jump, and they were able to pull everyone back. So we'll reset here and get another start. I mean, I don't blame them, man. When you're on that start line, you're hyped up, you're on the edge of your seat, you're just waiting for that buzzer to go. It'd be very easy to jump the gun.
Yeah, it's so easy to do, and I'm thinking, let's get some start gates built up with electronic things. But that's maybe in the future. So we're ready to go, hopefully at the second time of asking for the open stand-up final. All eyes on this one, and Diego powering away those long, powerful strides, and it looks like he's going to drop into third place at the moment, but it's obviously very, very early. We've just gone a couple of 100 meters or so as they all charge past.
Just blown past us. Oh man, they're tight. Gregory looks like he's out in front with Diego, looking to make a pass up to first or second, going into that first left. Oh, we are neck and neck for third and fourth.
And it is tight in there. Diego's going to come out in first, is he? Yeah, well, he's in second still.
Gregory's holding on to that first place.
So Gregory still in the lead. Diego Poncelet in second place, but he's been put under pressure.
Yeah. He's under pressure here. He's got third place in his draft. Let's see if he can be defensive enough going into this left without colliding. That's going to be key. Gregory looks like he's got a pretty decent lead, but knowing Diego, he can make that up. I'm curious to see if Diego chooses to do his concrete inside lines. Those are pretty dangerous, but definitely pay off if he can hang on.
Man, it is close between the top three right now. Gregory Schwab still in the lead in that all-white suit. Diego Poncelet in second place, but been put under pressure. Everyone is so far, well, the top three still on the feet. There was possibly a little problem for the man in fourth place, but it is tight. You cannot afford
there goes
mistakes.
Diego pretty hard on the inside, but not quite on the concrete.
Oh, but look at the gap. He's closed it right in, and now Diego on the inside line, just avoiding the concrete.
Made the pass.
Through.
Made the pass. And they'll be going into this neck. Gregory's going to pass back. Let's see if Diego can carry more exit speed, potentially get into Gregory's draft here. Oh, man, this is going to be tight for first and second. And again, you never know what's going to happen. Third could become first pretty quickly. Diego
on that inside line, that was beautiful. Just got the line, pinched it, absolutely pinched it. But he's still under pressure from Gregory, who's fighting right the outside, outside. Oh, what a move that was to take first place
pass
back.
Right. Oh, and there goes Diego on the concrete line, like we talked about, to make a clean pass. He hung onto it.
Bam, he's got first place back again. And I can't make them out here, but what racing we've got. I hope you're loving it as much as we are here. We're going to try and stay on the drone for as long as we can to give you as much of the action, but it's going to prove pretty difficult. Well.
Oh, here we go. We got the finish line. They should be rounding the last right-hand corner in a second here. I know I rode the track. This right's a little funny. You come out of it kind of slow. So if it's tight, it may be a real neck and neck across the line finish. Okay, let's see. It looks like we got Diego out in front. I think that's Diego out in front. Yep. So something must have happened to Gregory. Let's see who. I think Gregory's going to come in second here. Let's see if we can.
What a battle! Diego Poncelet,
first place.
Gregory in second. Wow.
Yeah. Wow, what intense racing. I can't even count the number of passes between Diego and Gregory. That was some of the most stand-up racing I've seen in a long time.
Folks, was that worth the wait? I think it was. That was some of the best racing of the day in that final. And I love that straight in. Yeah, it was close. It was risky, but it was, to my eyes at least, it looked absolutely as clean as it could be as well. Superb racing. Congratulations to all of the men. Little chat here. Maybe one or two things we didn't see there, but that's racing.
That's racing, and again, I just want to go back to that Diego line on the inside of the concrete. That's a risky line, and he's such a talented skater. He was able to pull it off, and Gregory stayed with him the whole time. Some really exciting passes back and forth that. Something we may have missed from the drone is it seems like Gregory may have scrubbed too much speed, and in one of the corners, it gave the chance for Diego to make that distance on him.
I love this one, Diego.
Diego, yeah, that's a new one. I like that. Thanks again to everyone for tuning in. Please, again, subscribe to the WDSC YouTube channel. That way you're going to get to see a lot of the GoPro footage that most of the riders were wearing. So you'll see some pretty interesting footage to come out after the race. So subscribe to the channel. Follow WDSC on Instagram. You'll get to see clips there, some rider POV footage. That's where you get to see the really exciting passes. So thanks again to the WDSC. And thanks again to the locals and for everyone that's come out to support.
Yeah, for all of the work that everyone has put in. A huge thanks to the crew as well for all of their work. It's been pretty challenging there's guys out on those cameras that have been out there pretty much all day, not able to walk back up, have a cup of tea. And I know we've been moaning about the weather, but at least we've got a tent 100 metres up the hill that we can warm up in. But we were treated to some absolutely special racing right at the end. I can't wait to watch that back. And as Liam was saying, if you keep an eye on Instagram, we're going to get all the extras up there as well, and some of the prize-giving shots as well.
Yeah, what a mental final heat. I mean, so impressive that this is the first time that we've ever, there's ever been an event on this track, and that final was neck and neck, a fight to the very end. So I just can't thank the organization and the riders enough for making it what it was. And based on what I'm seeing in the chat, you guys are pretty psyched as well. So make sure you follow along with the WDSC on Instagram for upcoming events. Hopefully we have a good circuit for next year.
So we're going to wrap things up here. I'm going to hand it over to you, Liam, for your final thoughts, then throw it back to me, and we'll wrap it all up and get ready for prize giving.
Right on, yeah. We're excited to give some prizes out. But, yeah, I mean, final thoughts, man. Such great performances and competition from everyone. And now we're going to go back to you.
Well, thanks so much for watching, folks. Liam, it's been awesome working with you. I loved that last race. So we're going to wrap it all up from Liam and from myself, Ian. Thank you so much for tuning in throughout the day. We'll see you at the next race. Bye for now.
Thanks.